Good
Yo, Rob,
evening.
you there?
I'm here.
All right, man. Cool, cool. I'm just let me just do one little test here, make sure I could get a full screen.
Broadcast is live.
We are live, man. We're live. Hang on one second, buddy. All right. All right, buddy. Welcome, and thank you for joining us on this call. I'll tell you what you're about to listen to and see here is frankly mind-blowing. Tell you a little quick story how I met Rob. You know, I went out to the Traffic and Conversion Summit in San Francisco with Nate and all those guys for the Ryan Dice event, and Nate actually introduced me to Rob, and he was telling me, "Hey, look, man, you know, this guy's been following you and Jeff, and you know, using your system, and he has a unique twist on the short sale market. He basically only, you know, does luxury homes, does very high dollar homes." And I said, "Wow, you know, is he, you know, very active? Is he closing deals every month?" He said, "Well," he says, "here's a guy who closes a deal a month, every other month." He said, "But everyone he closes, he's making six-figure checks." And I was like, "What?" I was like, "Everyone?" Like, no way, man. He's like, "No, man, listen, this guy has a system. This guy has, you know, put it together like you've never seen." And I had never heard of him. Rob, I think that's actually the first time we met, right, in San Fran?
I think I met you one other time before that, but yeah, something like it. We spent a lot of time together in San Fran, so that was cool.
Okay, okay, yeah, very good. And then of course we were down at the mastermind down there, and you know, we really got into it. But you know, the reason for this webinar tonight is I think that a lot of people they think they have to make a choice, and I think that's a lot of confusion. They think, okay, I'm going to do short sales, and I'm going to focus in this type of an area or that type of an area. And what you and I have had many discussions about is that by utilizing what I teach, what Jeff and I have created with the flip free profits method, it's a perfect system to use with what you do. And I know you're going to get into that a little bit and really go through this, but I think that for the most part, myself included, most investors in short sales don't exclusively focus on the luxury market, on the high-end market. And I think there's a lot of reasons for that, Rob. And based on my own experience and the people I've spoken to, I know that they perceive that it's going to be harder. It's going to be harder to find a buyer. Many other things. Well, the banks aren't going to discount enough, or if they discount enough, you know, who's going to spend that kind of money? And I think that you and what you've been doing, interestingly enough, behind the scenes, and no one even knowing, you know, really what you're doing or who you are as far as the market, I guess you could say, which is funny too. That's why I said in the email, like, hey, this guy's not a guru, man. He's not like, you know, this guy's just the real deal. So I think that that's what we're here to learn. Okay, that we're here to learn exactly what you do, Rob. You know, tell us how you're making the money you're making. Show us some examples, and you know, we're all going to learn something here. So I'll turn it over to you, man.
Well, that's great, and thanks a lot, Brian, for that great introduction. And folks, I'm really excited to share this and peel back the curtain of how I do my business, how I buy these luxury homes with none of my own money, no credit. I buy them in the morning, I sell them in the afternoon, and my profits are anywhere from $100,000 to $150,000 per deal, and I do these consistently. And Brian, you're absolutely right. People are intimidated by these homes, and they shouldn't be because they're actually easier to do in the short sale world. So they're actually easier. The profits are bigger, and you know it's a lot more fun. And I'm going to look forward to sharing this with you tonight and peeling back the curtain and showing you how I operate my business. So you guys ready to rock?
Let's do it, man. Let's do it. What do you got?
Let's do it. Have you ever wondered what it'd be like to eliminate Mondays and fly helicopters and pursue your passions? Well, that's what I like to do. Everyone hates Mondays. They even have a name for it. They call it the Monday Blues. What I like to do is I like to schedule something I love to do, which is flying helicopters every Monday morning. And this system gives me that time, that abundance of time to do what I want, when I want it, and how I want to do it. And by doing that, imagine the mindset when your whole weekend, instead of dreading Monday, you're actually looking forward to Monday. I don't really work very hard. I'm actually, to tell you the truth, I'm actually kind of lazy. And this system allows me to be because the system, once it's set up, everyone is doing all the work for you, and you're showing up on closing day to collect your check. And yeah, you got to set up your system. You got to create your team. But I'm going to get into it. I'm going to show you how to create your team and delegate the work and let these folks do it all for you. And they're going to be happy to do it for you also. And have you ever wondered what it'd be like to just triple your yearly salary in only one deal? My first deal I did, I made $166,000, my first deal. So, I mean, imagine the feeling, how good it feels to take that kind of an income, get that kind of a wire into your account on only one deal. And have you ever wondered what it'd be like to do one deal and take the rest of the year off? Last year, 2012, I actually closed the deal, and I made about $1.50 on it. That felt pretty good. Took a lot of pressure off, and it's a good way to start your year. And I want that for everyone out here. How many of you would like me to share tonight how you can make $100,000 to $150,000 per deal buying $1 million luxury home in today's real estate climate with no money out of your own pocket? I've never put $1 into any of my deals that I've done. How many of you would like me to share how you can smash your alarm clock, never deal with a jerky boss, never fight traffic while enjoying the 4-hour work week? Like I said, this is the program, this system works. You don't have to do a lot of work. And, God didn't mean us to live our lives in cubicles. We're meant to be abundant, be prosperous, and this system allows you to do that. And how many of you would like me to share a proven step-by-step system that will virtually guarantee you doing a luxury deal with no money out of your own pocket? That's how we do them. Every single deal I've done, I buy it in the morning, I sell it in the afternoon, zero money out of my own pocket. Tonight on this webinar, you're about to discover the cutting-edge strategies on how you can take advantage of today's real estate market. You're going to learn, and I promise you this, you'll have an army of realtors bringing you deals and sellers banging down your door to buy their luxury homes. The sellers are actually easier to work with in this stratosphere of investing. And today I'm going to teach you how to build your team of professionals who are going to do most of this work for you. And I promise you this, you're about to discover that when you're operating at this level, you're on a playing field with zero competition.
Hey, Rob, you mind if I jump in and say something there?
Sure.
That last bullet point here, playing field with zero competition, dude, that couldn't be more true, man, because here I am. I mean, we have a huge business. We're closing 5, 10, 15 deals a month, having, 6-figure months, but that's with multiple deals. And you're talking about one deal. I mean, honestly, like, it just blows my mind, man. I was talking to Jeff, I'm like, like, this guy's doing, like, one deal. And I think that, a lot of people have that area, whether you live in it or whether it's near, you have that wealthy area where there's these big $1 million homes. And if not, and I like what you talk about, how you can pretty much penetrate any market, which is pretty cool. I know you're going to get into that. But you're right. You have no competition because people are thinking that, first of all, well, in those big $1 million homes, they're never going to start, missing payments. They're not going to go into foreclosure. They're not. But it's completely untrue. And I don't know, man. I mean, honestly, like with what we're doing and the plans that we have in my company, in my investing company, with my deals, thanks to talking to you, and I don't think I even mentioned to you, Rob, but I've actually started talking to some high-end listing agents that I kind of know, but not really, that I know for a fact only do $1 million up. And I told them, I said, look, I'm just pretty much cracking the code here on how to do what I do in the $1 million+ market, and I'm working real closely with someone who this is all he does. And that's kind of like the intro BS conversation I had with them, like not really telling them anything. And I'm sitting down with both of them. They both want to hear about it. So you're right, man. So I just as a confirmation, I had to tell you that it's pretty free. It's pretty really cool.
For sure, and the realtors, they will be banging down your doors because there are not investors that are going after these homes. And what you mentioned about luxury homes are in every market, but I live in Sarasota, Florida, and most of my business, about 95% of my business, is actually done 3 hours away in Miami, Fort Lauderdale, and Palm Beach. That's a big metropolis area, over 2.5 million people, and even then, I'm not running into any competitors. There's no one out there trying to buy these homes.
Wow.
And the buyers are there. People in that $1 million stratosphere, when they want it, they're there, and they're there to buy it cash, which I'm going to get into it about, why this is a much easier model to follow with luxury homes because the cash buyers are there.
You're doing great, man. Keep it going. Keep it going.
All right, I'm also going to show you tonight in the special webinar how you can become your market's #1 go-to source for buying luxury homes. And one thing I found to be true, once you start doing these systems, they find out about you. They know you're buying these homes. They know you're taking these distressed properties off the market, saving them from foreclosure, and buyers are going to want to come to you because they know you're getting the deals. And also, it's going to be abundantly clear to you at the end of at the end of this discussion how easy it is to find these deals. These deals are everywhere, and they're in every market. And I know because I even have realtors from other cities across the country calling me, asking me to do these deals. So what is a luxury short sale flip? Well, it's buying $1 million home in the morning and selling it in the afternoon with none of your own money. Sounds pretty good, right? And these are, as you guys see these slides, these are all homes that I've bought and sold following the same exact system using the same model. I bought them in the morning, sold them in the afternoon, never used a dollar out of my pocket, and made 100 to 150,000 on each one of these. So why luxury short sale selling? Well, for one, it's fun. It's a lot of fun to go look around at gorgeous homes. Who wants to go look around those little dumpers all the time that, you know, 30, 40, $50,000 and they're in a total state of disrepair? It's a lot of fun looking at gorgeous luxury homes on the water, on the beach, on the lake, anywhere. It's just a lot funner to go and spend your day. And they're actually a lot easier to work on and to do a short sale with than a typical short sale. The people involved, the buyers, the sellers, there's attorneys involved. They're at another level. They're a lot more sophisticated. They understand business. They know what they want, and everything moves a lot easier. And the checks, of course, it's a lot bigger, right? Who wants to make 100, $150,000 checks per deal? Pretty awesome, right? Of course. And you know what? Cash buyers. This system, following this luxury short sale system, cash buyers are attracted to these deals. When they come to you, you'll always have an end buyer. I've never not had a buyer for one of my properties, and they've all been in the million-plus stratosphere. When you're getting the best deal in the block and you're following this system, the buyers are going to be there. And it's nice, and Brian, as you know with short sales, it's nice when you don't have to worry about the B2C transaction, worry about a mortgage on the other side of it.
Yeah, man, and I think that it's funny you said that. As you're talking, I'm sitting here thinking we have a tendency in my local area, in my business, to focus on the lower end area, the 100,000 and below, and the only reason for that, Rob, is because 95% of them are cash buyers, and you don't have to deal with the mortgages, you don't have to deal with all the other things. And don't get me wrong, we do plenty of deals in the 2, 3, 4 and up range, but you're right. I mean, dealing with cash buyers it's the best. I mean, it's great, you know.
Yeah, and you know that's what I always say. And really, it's a tenet of any kind of real estate investing: either be at the very bottom of the market or the very top. And that's always going to serve you well, whether you're investing or you know whether you're flipping, no matter what you're doing.
Yep.
So absolutely. So why now? I mean, people say, Rob, why now? Well, you know what, guys, the time has never been better. The stars have just been aligned. This is the perfect time for investing in real estate, especially investing in short sales, on luxury short sales. This is going to be going on for the next 5, 6 years, maybe even longer. There is I mean, you hear in the news that real estate is getting better, and it's true, it is. But what they don't tell you, there is still a huge foreshadow of inventory that's out there. And for a lot of you folks in real estate, you guys all know this, and especially for the luxury homes, because the banks do not want to foreclose, so they've been going on and on and on forever. Plus, the owners of luxury homes, they have attorneys. They've been fighting the foreclosures. They've been using all the stall tactics, all the delay tactics, and they still have these properties hanging around. But now, you know, the banks are starting to move a little bit faster. The judicial process, the AG settlement, everything that's been happening with short sales and foreclosures has freed up. So now they're moving along. These sellers want to get out. Now is the time, and the banks are making the deals now more than ever. I'm going to tell you about that. So that's one of the reasons. It's just one of the best times to buy. The banks, they do not want to own real estate. Folks, how do banks make their money? By getting loan fees, interest. They don't want to own real estate. The upkeep, the maintenance, and the liens are just way too high, especially in the luxury sector. We had one property we bought. It was a condo, Brian. The monthly maintenance dues alone were almost $5,000.
Really?
I mean, can you imagine like your monthly HOA due is $5,000? It was insane. The total amount owed on that from the HOA was $200,000. And I had to eat it, but it was like, because the HOAs, you can't negotiate with the HOAs. They have, especially in Florida, they have a lot of power.
Yeah, you don't have to tell me that one, man. Unfortunately, I know all about it.
And banks don't want to own this. You know, we had one home that was a 15,000 square foot home. You think a bank wants to own that and have to deal with the maintenance and the upkeep? No way. They don't want to have these properties. They don't want to take it to foreclosure. They don't want it in REO. And that brings me right to capital requirements. What does that mean? Well, what a lot of people don't know is that when a bank actually, let's say a bank makes a loan for $1 million, a lot of people don't know that they actually get a credit from the Fed to lend significantly more with the multiple. Usually it could be 7 to 10 times more. So that $1 million loan that a bank made to someone to buy a house, they can go out and lend $10 million more. So they're just multiplying their interest and their loan fees from that. On the converse, when they foreclose, their hit is actually it's exponentially larger than just $1 million, and that affects how much they can lend out, which again is where they earn their revenue. more loan origination fees and interest. So they do not want to foreclose on these properties. And also they'll hold them. They don't want to take care of those holding costs until they sell them. And right now, more than ever, a lot of people have probably heard, well, short sales are tough. The banks take too long to make a decision. Now more than ever, the banks are moving on these. They have finally seen the light, and we've been carrying the water for the last 4 years with this. And the banks are now, they know they'd rather do a short sale than go to REO. And the last few months consistently have shown that. Realty Track, one of the other big real estate data companies, have said there's actually more short sales per month now than REO sales and foreclosures. So the banks know, and you know this in your business too, Brian, that the banks, they know it's better to do a short sale, take an offer, work with investors like us, then go ahead and take it to foreclosure, pay the attorney's fees, pay the holding costs, and so forth. An attorney's fees for a typical house is probably about anywhere from $30,000 to $50,000. On a short sale of a luxury home that goes to foreclosure, that could be anywhere from $200,000 to $250,000. So, yeah, the banks, they don't want to foreclose on these. Well, how many of you tonight want to get the most of our time together? I want you guys to think about, what your number one reason for being here. Because friends and folks, this is a system that will work. It'll bring you six-figure paychecks. I want you to think about why this is important to you, how it's going to help you and your family. I'm a dad, I'm a father, I have a family of 4. This system allows me so much time to spend with them that I'm grateful for, and it just brings me a lot of wealth, and it's great to not have to have that financial burden. And folks, what is the system? I mean, are the hamburgers any better at McDonald's? Does 7-Eleven or Exxon have better gas or snacks and sodas than the other gas stations out there? No. But investors, they pay $400,000 to $500,000 a franchise to invest in that system because they know these companies have systems that bring them back cash and deliver cash and profits to them. And what's the acronym for system? Save yourself time, energy, and money. And that's what this does, folks. I've designed this system. It's perfected. It's tested, tried, and true for the last 4 years. It brings profits. It makes it easy. And what is the Oracle? The world's leading investor, Warren Buffett. What is he saying about real estate right now? He is saying that if he could start any kind of a business right now, it would be in real estate. So if he could scale it, he said he'd buy every house that's distressed in the country right now. And it's even true. He's advised Wall Street funds, big hedge funds, they're buying. They're buying in your market right now. They're buying the smaller homes. They're gobbling them up. Pretty soon when all that inventory is gone, imagine you're the only investor out there who's been quietly building up a pipeline of luxury short sales. Well, guess what? These big hedge funds are going to come to you. One of the biggest hedge funds in the country has come to me to buy some of these homes, and right now they're focusing on small homes, like from maybe 0 to 350,000. So they're eyeing luxury pretty soon. Great time to get there first and build the pipeline. And you can build a pipeline super fast in luxury short sales because the realtors don't have people like us to buy these properties. Most luxury short sales have been sitting on the market stale in the MLS for 2 or 3 years because nobody wants to take a stab at it. Nobody knows how. This system shows you how. When I first started this, I built my pipeline up to over 100 million within 6 months. And actually now what I do is I actually kind of target how much I want my pipeline, and I decide back and forth how we're going to do it. So this is a great time to be in this. And who am I and why you should listen to me? Well, as I mentioned to you, my name is Rob Stile. I'm CEO of Land Bankers, Inc. We're a private REIT. I have over 20 years in niche real estate investing. Niche real estate investing are the corners where the most of the mainstream does not go, and that's where all the profits are. Everybody wants to buy a house, rent it out, and collect the spread between the mortgage and the rent. The niche real estate investing, like a short sale flipping system, and all those other type of investments where no one's at, that's where all the profits are, because it takes a little bit of expertise to know how to learn it. But the truth of the matter is, it's a lot easier than general investing. I've never even bought a property and rent it out. I don't want to deal with the tenant. I don't want to deal with the toilet. I don't want to swing a hammer. I don't want to rehab a property. I want to buy it in the morning and sell it in the afternoon. The truth of the matter is, folks, I'm actually a little bit lazy, and I have a system. I really like it, and it's awesome to buy and sell same day. America's favorite luxury short sale coach. I'm Florida's top luxury short sale buyer. No, like I said, there's no competition. No one's bought more luxury short sale homes than we have. Country's #1 luxury short sale expert. Big media companies, big newspapers, USA Today. They all call me when they want to have someone talk about short sales and what's going on in today's current market. I'm a short sale buyer to the celebrities. Yeah, folks, celebrities get in trouble too. I've had A-list actors, athletes, they all get in trouble. And, it's amazing how, when an athlete's making the kind of contracts that you see them getting, the 40, $50 million contracts, and they go belly up within a short period of time. But we've had all of those celebrities. I mean, people that I've watched as a little boy in movies, now I'm buying their house. And even some of the big actors, I even tell them no sometimes.
Rob,
And
it's so funny you say that. I'm looking at your list, and I'm sorry for jumping in, but when they formally introduced us and we were going through all this and we were talking, like, it blows my mind, man. Like, you truly, you put Florida's top luxury short sale buyer, 100% true, the country's #1 luxury short sale expert. That here you are. I never even heard of you, man. I mean, I know you said we met before. I apologize, I don't remember, but I mean, you're not some guru or some big polished speaker, and for all the people listening on this call, nobody knows who you are, and I know, if we can be honest, right when we were talking about an hour ago, you're saying, hey man, I've never really done this before, I'm kind of nervous, and I said, listen, Rob, did I not say this? I said, be nervous, stumble over your words, it doesn't matter. One of the reasons I think I connect with people is that they know I'm real. I'm not bullshitting them, I'm not lying to them, I just come across very real because I am. And that's what I picked up on you right away when we were meeting, and we were down in Florida just last week. And so that's what's so exciting about you, Rob, is that no one knows who you are, man. And you're making millions of dollars, 100,000 plus on every deal. And I'm honestly, Lee, I'm impressed. I'm very impressed. So you're doing a great job, man. Keep it going.
well, that's that's the thing. Like, okay, a guy like me, and you've met me before, Brian, so I'm very unassuming. I'm actually on the humble side, and I'm not the smartest guy in the room anywhere. But all of these celebrities and the attorneys, the big businessmen, they come to me not because I'm some hotshot, not because I'm well connected, not because I come from a family with money. I mean, they come to me because they hear about this system and they know that it works, and that's it. And believe me, trust me, I'm nothing special. It's a system that works, and they come for it. And I happen to be in a very high level real estate mastermind, and even in that group, I'm a regular guy that just happened to stumble upon something, and it works. And even a good story to tell you, Brian, is that a guy that when I was in college, a big businessman in town, I mean, he owned some of the biggest companies out there, and I used to write resumes to that company all the time because I wanted to go work for this guy. He was like my business hero, and during as I was doing this short sale system, his house was in foreclosure, and this was a guy that was making this guy hundreds of millions of dollars net worth, and he lost it all, and there I was at his house to buy it, and here I was, the guy that used to write him a bunch of resumes to go work for him. So yeah, it's pretty amazing how things come circle, and it's just this system. And I always tell my realtors, because my realtors are blown away also because they're in a stratosphere they never thought they could ever be in. And it's all because of this particular system. It doesn't only open up doors, it blows them off the hinges. And I know that because I see it every day. When I get off the phone with people, I'm just like floored.
Yeah.
And what else about me? The banks know me. Guys, when you're doing this business, not only are you going to be known by people in your town, the banks are going to know you. And I'm talking the big banks. I mean, all the big boys, they know who you are. They know who Brian is. They know what we do. They know what our model of investing is. But the one thing they know, yes, they know we're going to make a profit. But what they also know is they know that every time I've told them I was going to buy a property for $2 million, $3 million, $5 million, $10 million, whatever it was, they know I came to the table and I closed. And that's a lot of credibility. And when I'm negotiating with the bank, I tell them, hey, go back, look at this address, look who came to close. And that holds a lot of weight, and that helps when you're negotiating too. And as I mentioned, the banks know short sales are the way to go. And I've done over 1,000 executed transactions in real estate. So let me tell you a little bit more about me. I was born in Miami. I'm a third generation Miami, and my dad was born there, and so was my grandfather. So not too many people can say that from Miami. And that's beautiful skyline there. Of course, when I was growing up, you didn't have all those buildings, but it's a great place to grow up. I went to college. I got a degree in economics and finance. I actually started out as a pre-med major. And at the time I was in college, and I'm going to date myself here, Donald Trump's book, The Art of the Deal, came out. And I read it. I got it on a Friday. I remember like it was yesterday. I got it on a Friday, and I just did not put it down. I read it through the whole weekend. Monday, I was in my guidance counselor's office, changing all my majors, going to business. My parents freaked out, but that was the path I was going to do after being inspired that book. And I was just fascinated with investing, with real estate, and I studied everything. I searched around a lot. At the time, a lot of college curriculum didn't really focus on real estate, but there was investor groups, and I'd go around, I'd look at the investors in the market, in the neighborhood, and ask them what they were doing, and no one really ever invited me. We didn't have webinars. We didn't have a lot of programs out there or systems. So I took that same passion and I applied it to the stock market and finance. I got really interested in that. I'd spend my weekends, a lot of my friends are going out partying, and like college kids do. But on Saturday night, I would say I'd read books like Megatrends 2000, Barbarians at the Gate, which was a book about the LBO craze of the 80s and 90s and early 90s. And I graduated and worked on Wall Street. And one thing I found was, no matter what my passion was for investing and how much I loved stocks and investing, to my bosses, they didn't care. It wasn't about that to them. To them, it was all about how much commissions can you generate. It was, Rob, generate commissions, generate commissions, generate commissions. Well, it's kind of like a lawyer that loves the law, goes to law school, and he starts working for a big firm, and no one really cares about the justice system. No one cares about the legalities or his love for the law. They just care about billable hours. Well, it's the same thing on Wall Street. And I was in my early 20s, and I just got very disillusioned with that. So I left that after a while, and I got right into real estate investing. I started investing in land. And this is a portion in Florida here where you see where there's over 100,000 lots. And these are all quarter-acre lots, and I started buying them for $5,000 a lot. And they went up as high as 70 to 75,000. So I really focused on buying these quarter-acre land lots, and that's all I did, using the same flipping model, actually. I'd buy them and sell them. I started with no money, and I made millions doing this. Bought them in the morning, sold them in the afternoon with none of my own money, and I was making, at the height of it, I was basically selling probably 30 lots a month with profits of anywhere from $10,000 to $125,000 per lot. So you guys can imagine that was those are good times back then. And even in this picture here that I'm looking at, I could see beachfront lots I owned, waterfront lots, and what happened was I went from a shift from being a flipper to an investor, and I started accumulating. All the profits I made, I was accumulating them for myself to just keep holding them, and at some point I had almost 200 lots. And I wish I kept flipping them because, of course, we all know what happened. When everything crashed, the market just, lots were the first to go down, and when they go down pretty hard. And what happened was, I knew right around 2009, no one was buying lots. The whole real estate, everything had crashed. And I actually stumbled across a short sale, and it was a 125-lot package. And get this, Brian, the bank actually made I didn't even mean to find a short sale. It just kind of it happened upon me that the bank made a loan of $45,000 per lot, and they sold me those lots for $3,500. And this is 125 lots. So you can imagine the kind of hit they took.
Wow.
Yeah. So I bought them, and it was actually, and I'd always heard how hard short sales were, how long the bank took. It was actually a pretty easy deal, and I had a big buyer, and actually the buyer, he was an owner of one of the big Las Vegas shows, was one of their main investors. So they bought them for me, and we actually worked out an assignment deal. Another thing, folks, when you're at that kind of a level of buyers, they know what you do. They know you're going to make some profits. They don't have a problem with that, and they're just going to pay you. And so I sold those lots for $500 a piece assignment, and I knew there wasn't going to be any more lot deals for a long, long time. And you know what? I haven't done a lot deal since. That was 2009. So I knew, man, here I am. I'm a dad. I have one baby. I have one on the way at that point. And what am I going to do? And I'm just driving home, just trying to figure it all out. And I thought that short sale was pretty easy. Let me focus on more of these short sales, and let me just find out how to do it. So I just got into short sales. I just studied them, talked to realtors, and surprisingly, and you probably know this also, Brian, in 2009, I mean, like right now, short sales it's in the national lexicon. Everyone knows what one is. But even in 2009, realtors who were in the business 30 years didn't even know what a short sale was.
So, yeah, I do know that. Unfortunately, actually, I started this, if you remember, of that 120-day journey, I started on May 1st, 2009, so just coming up on not even, really, I can't even believe it's not even 4 years I'm doing this. And I never did a short sale. And so I'm studying, I'm learning, I'm coaching with Nate, and, frankly spending money I didn't have and just trying to make this thing work. And the biggest resistance I got was from realtors, and I was shocked that as my knowledge grew and as I learned more and more and more and going on webinars with Chris McLaughlin and Jeff Watson and people I didn't know personally at the time, just studying, I started realizing that I was the smartest guy around when it came to short sales. And I'm like, wow, I'm in some rare air here, man. And if I really become an expert, I could really own this market. And that's exactly, as I'm up here in the Northeast doing that, sounds like right around the same time you're doing the same damn thing down in Florida.
Yeah, absolutely. And it was amazing because I'd meet realtors, and it is, oh yeah, I'm the big shot. I've been doing this 30 years. Okay, well, I want to buy a short sale, and they're like, well, what's a short sale? And I couldn't believe I was explaining this over and over to so many realtors. And then you know how it is. Once you explain to them, you tell them you're going to buy it, man, they just gravitate to you like crazy. And talking about being out of money, here I am in 2009, did my last lot deal, spent all the money, and there was no other deals to do. And at this point, I'm down to my last $3,000. So, I mean, I stumbled across some short sales. I do one. The first one I did it in 4 months. This is not the picture of the house, but I sold this house also. But the first deal I did, I was down to my last $3,000. It's about a week before Christmas, and I made $166,000 on that deal. So you can imagine if you have $3,000 left in your account, you have a family of 4, you don't know what you're going to do, and then all of a sudden you see that wire come in above $1.66, man, and I was just like, whew, man, it's like, wow.
It must, honestly, man, it must have felt like you hit the lottery.
It felt great, and actually,
and not for millions of dollars, but you get a 6-figure payday. I mean, that's awesome, man.
It took a ton of pressure off because I'd made millions in land, lost it all, struggled and kept struggling, found this, and we didn't live that great in 2009, so I knew I could take that 166 and make it last the rest of 2010.
Right.
But of course, look, I'm thinking big, and I want you folks to think big too. So what did I do? Bam, man, I was hooked. I knew this was the ticket, this was the deal. So what do? I get full into it. I invest even more. I learn all I can about short sales. I go out heavily recruiting realtors, sponsoring realtor events, getting more of these style of homes. This is a house that I bought and sold. And here's an event I did. Now imagine this. Right after I did that deal, I sponsored a big realtor awards banquet, which was held in a local casino here. And on the middle picture there, on the right, I don't know if you can see my pointer. Can you guys see my pointer?
Move it around a little bit.
Okay, maybe not. Well, on the right logo is my company, and then you see the middle of the big screen, and then to the left is Wells Fargo. So here's a room of about 2,000 realtors. They're seeing my company and Wells Fargo. They're thinking I'm like a big operation, like Wells Fargo is. I'm in that same level in their mind. Meanwhile, guys, you can do this as a one-man band. At this point, I was a one-man band, actually. And so that's what I did. I went around recruiting realtors. It could have been something as small as bringing donuts and coffee to their local meeting, to their morning sales meeting. It could mean sending pizzas and having a little luncheon with them. Or it could have meant hosting a big event like this, having a cigar party at the local cigar shop. I just went out to recruit realtors. And once you do that, it's all done for you because the deals are just going to flow your way like crazy. And at the same time, Brian, other investors I knew, the way they were getting short sales, were going on these crazy letter writing campaigns, knocking on doors, doing all this stuff because they had this mentality of scarcity. They didn't want to pay a realtor a commission. And I couldn't be happy enough to pay them a realtor. And even in my mastermind, they said, Rob, you're crazy paying all those realtors. Well, you know what? My pipeline got to $60 to $100 million right away from that strategy.
Rob, that's so ironic because exactly what you're saying, and I don't think we even talked about this before. I never did a mailing. I never knocked on doors. I built my entire business on the realtor referral method. And I don't need new realtors. I mean, yeah, I put it at the bottom of my email now because I'm trying to expand nationwide and do different things, but you're right. Once you get your name out there, the deals literally come to you. And I think the thing that a lot of people struggle with in the beginning is that they don't realize that it doesn't happen overnight. It's going to take some time, and you're going to have to, bring that pizza or those donuts or, have those coffee meetings or, like you mentioned, some big events, which, by the way, I never did. But eventually the tide turns, and that could be in a matter of a month or two, or maybe it'll take you 6 months or a year. But if you just consistently put those efforts in, Rob, I mean, look at the way you live. Look at the business you have. I mean, obviously it was worth it.
Oh, yeah, this rocked. I mean, the realtor method is the only way I would ever consider just because I don't want to be that guy doing a gazillion mail campaign and writing all these letters, stamping all these letters, and knocking on doors. That's insane.
Yeah.
So and this is fun, guys. Look, I hired a belly dancer for one. I mean, look at the fun I'm having. Another one, I had cigar rollers at the event, had models. It's fun, and people are relaxed too. This is an event. It's at a casino. People are having drinks. It's a lot laid back, and my style is kind of laid back too. So it just works out perfect. And so boom, all the homes, they just kept on coming, more and more. So what happened is I just kept like here's one. A lot of folks, guys, they always talk about how long it might take to do a short sale. This is one, and I just did this last summer. I did this deal in 2 months, which is unheard of in short sales. And I'm always asking anyone who does short sales, I say, how long is it taking? Because I've heard that. And boom, we did this in 2 months. It's not always going to happen. And on this one too, guys, the bank never even countered my original offer. They just took my first offer. They said yes, and they approved it in 2 months. I was in and out of that, made about $1.54 in 2 months. It's unbelievable. And sometimes, guys, when you're prepared, when you're ready, you're going to get lucky. And that, truthfully, that was a little bit of luck. But right now, the banks, they're making this easier on us. And I'm going to show you some systems on how to work with the right banks, how to make these deals easier for you and faster for you. Because what's the most important thing is getting checks in our pocket right away. And so this is one I did. Here's another, Brian, I wish I had your system. This one I did like in 2009, maybe 2010. I bought this house for $1 million and sold it for 1.5.
I hadn't created it yet, man.
This would have been perfect for flip-free profits, because this was one where at the time where the banks were making you hold your original purchase for 30 days before you resold it, and we didn't have something like what you're offering out there like we do today. So I had to hold it for 31 days, but I bought it for $1 million, sold it for $1.5 million. It was worth it. But I like the fact that with your system, you don't have to find the money. I had to find the money to hold this for
30
days,
right.
Which is so easy,
So and it's funny you just said that, because and then obviously that was without them capping any of your profits too. So it just really goes to show you how far things have come in just not even 4 years. It's amazing.
Oh yeah, absolutely. This is the banks. They want to do these short sales. They want to work with guys like us. And also, when you know how to do this, and the banks know you're professional and you know how to operate, they'll work with you a lot easier. They'll give you the priority, and especially once you start closing a few deals, they'll know who you are. Especially in the luxury market, because you know what? I don't care if it's Bank of America. I don't care if it's Chase. When they're holding luxury, they know they're holding it, and they know what happens. Even if it's a big, giant bank, these properties are not properties they want, so they want them out of their pipeline. Here's another one I did. It's a nice waterfront in Fort Lauderdale. And so, guys, here I was. Imagine this. Here I am, normal, regular Joe, down to my last $3,000. Do this deal, create this system, embrace this system, ran with a passion for it, and it created a wonderful lifestyle that I just feel so blessed and so lucky to have. And I really just want to share this with you. And now I can, when I travel with my family, we charter private planes. I get to pursue my passion of flying helicopters. I took my family to Mexico. Here we are out boating. And, as a dad, a very proud moment of mine, my favorite thing in the world to do is scuba dive. Well, my 5-year-old son, which I'm probably few 5-year-olds in the country can do this, begged me to teach him to scuba dive in our pool. And I told him, I said, learn how to snorkel first. When you're great at snorkeling, you can graduate to scuba. So he actually scubaed in his pool. So, yeah, so this lifestyle is having an abundance of time, spending the time with my family, and just doing the things I love it's amazing. And I'm actually kind of humbled to tell the story to you guys. And
hey, Rob, another thing that I think you just brought up a good point, and I know we were talking about this down in Florida. Well, this luxury system, the ability to go after this $1 million plus homes and make this kind of money on one deal, man. You realize that what you make on one deal is what the average American takes a year to make? A year, man. And I don't even know what the statistic is and how many people actually make 100 grand a year. It's actually not even that many. But the point is to make 150 grand on one deal. I know there's two types of people out there. There's the people that have the ability to dream. There's the people that want to think about chartering private, planes and getting your helicopter and exotic trips. And they're motivated by that. Maybe they've made money in the past or making now, whatever. It's just a mindset. And then there's other people, pretty much, I guess if I could say how I used to be, when you don't have any money, when you're frustrated, when you're struggling, when you're worrying about paying your bills, the last thing I would want to see is someone talking about helicopters. And I remember years ago, man, this is, if you don't mind me breaking off for 1 second, I remember when I was just trying to figure out what am I going to do, coming off my divorce, trying to figure out how am I going to rebuild my life. Everything's crumbling around me. And I got my real estate license in '07, and I'm starting to think, God, man, what am I going to do with the rest of my life? How am I going to get out of this hole? And I started gravitating towards real estate, going on all these webinars, and I remember I would see the jets and all this stuff, and I would just get sick, man. I would literally, and looking back, I know it was just out of frustration and maybe desperation, but I'd be like, look, dude, don't tell me about the jet. Just show me how to make some money. Show me how to make 50 grand a year consistently. And now what you're talking about is 3 times that. Show me how to make 100 grand, 150 grand. Because, dude, if someone, anyone listening to this would just implement what you're doing and, not even mention complimenting with what I'm doing because they fit together hand in glove. And it took them a year to do one deal and they got that $100,000 payday. Dude, that changes people's lives, man. People are getting divorced. Things are falling apart left and right because people can't pay their credit card bills. I mean, do you imagine 100 grand just dumped into your account? That's why I was so excited to have this webinar, man, and why I gladly agreed to do it and help you get the word out there because, my God, man, this is huge. And I, as good as I'm doing, am so excited to implement this luxury model into my business like we talked about because you'd be crazy not to, man. You're the only guy I know doing this, to be honest with you. And you're it.
And it's true. And look, I got to tell you, when I get these checks, it is humbling. But also, when everyone out there, when you first do one, it doesn't become about you anymore. And you know what? It doesn't become about you for a long time. It probably takes a week or two after you get that check for even the excitement of that to settle in. What happens is you start looking at your deal from above, and you start, and I say above, you're getting the 40,000-foot view of your deal. And what happens is you realize all the people who you're saving. You're saving a seller from foreclosure and the catastrophe that comes with it. And yeah, you mentioned divorce. That seller, he didn't just lose his house. He lost his business a few years ago. He lost his marriage. He's got a lot of financial problems, family problems. His state of mind is a wreck. And I always ask them when I go in their house, I say to them, hey, what did you do to get this big house? Because I'm naturally curious and fascinated by how people attain their wealth. And they'll tell me whatever their story is, and without fail, they always say, but Rob, I know I'm going to make it all back again. And I believe them, because once you crack that code once and you made your first million, then you know how to do it. That's the hardest part, is getting that first one. Even if you lose it, you're going to make it again. And these guys, they're all going to make it again, but they always tell me, and this happens to every single one, they say, Rob, please, just get me rid of this house. This house is it's like a noose around my neck. It's like an albatross around my neck. If you can just get the weight of this home off my shoulders, I can go out, rebuild my life, rebuild my business, rebuild my family, heal, and be on top of the world again, and contribute to the economy and everything else. Furthermore, when you guys do these deals, you actually become a profit center for a lot of people. Realtors are struggling. Well, I did a deal where all the realtors got to split $360,000. You think the realtors don't need that kind of money? Of course they do. They're hurting too, especially over the last few years when real estate really, went down in the tank. And also title companies. When they talk about small businesses of America, those title companies, there they are. They're the people that they employ 10 to 20 people. You're making them a lot of money. You're going to become the biggest client of your title company because you're not just doing one transaction. You're doing two. So you're saving a lot of people. And then once you do it and you take a nice little breath, then what happens is then you get to enjoy then you realize, wow, I made a nice sum, I made a king's ransom, and then enjoy it a little bit, folks. Yeah, you know what, guys, the plane, the helicopter, all that stuff, I get it, and I don't show that to impress you. I show it to you to impress upon you that if a regular guy like me can do this, and trust me, I'm nothing special, man. And when I say I'm lazy, I'm not kidding. I'm pretty lazy, and I'm not good at technology. I'm not good at. I stink at paperwork. I've never even touched the paperwork. I've never even collected all those documents that they say they need for short sales. Never done any of that, and just made the system work for me. So for sure, all of you folks can go out there and do it. And I truly believe this model of short sale investing, whether it's luxury homes or any homes, this is the way to save America from its housing crisis. It's not going to come from Washington. It's not going to come from any government program that all fail. It's not going to come from Wall Street or the big banks. That's for sure. They're all self-serving. It's going to come from guys like me, guys like Brian, guys that are in my mastermind group, guys like you out here listening, spending your time on a webinar to learn about this, and armies of realtors who work together with us. That's who's going to save America from this housing crisis. And when you're doing it, you're the guy that started it. You're the impetus for the whole thing, and you create a whole profit center around you. I mean, it's not just even the title companies, the realtors, it's other lien holders, it's the pool guy that came and cleaned that pool. I mean, you're creating money and an economy out of thin air. And man, I could talk about that forever, but when you actually do it and you see it, then you'll know what I'm talking about. And when you do, please let me know, because that's a crazy feeling. And you know, a lot of folks, you know, I want to inspire you guys, because yeah, I got to tell you, something like flying in a private plane when your kids don't even know that there's an airport where you just go on a normal flight, that's pretty cool. And I come from super meager beginnings. I mean, I come from a very working class folks. The first time I ever got on a plane, I was 17 years old. So you know, wasn't a lot of vacations in my household when I was a kid. And I imagine a lot of people are like that. And you know, they tell me, you know, the challenges most are facing. They say, Rob, I don't have the knowledge of this. No one's invited me to learn about this. Well, guess what? We have the knowledge. We're going to teach you. They tell me they don't have the money. You know what, guys? You don't need the money. We're going to give it to you. You don't need the money. You can buy this in the morning. You sell it in the afternoon. I don't have the time. You're going to have an abundance of time. Husbands, if your wives are complaining you're working too much, you're never at home, guess what? They're going to be sorry you're at home so much. You'll be around so often. Ladies, you don't have time to do some of the other things you want to do. You're going to have an abundance of time, and you're going to have time with the kids, with the family, all those things that, you know, you're just so stretched out because you're working, you're running around so much. You're going to have your free time. You're going to be relaxed and be able to enjoy yourself. They tell me, Rob, I'm lacking a coach or a mentor. Guess what? We're going to teach you. We are your coach or mentor. When I started this, no one invited me. No one shared this with me. We've got it. We're going to help you. No real estate license. They tell me they don't have a license. Guess what? I don't want you to have a real estate license. This is for investors only. This is not for realtors. And if you do have a realtor license, put it on all your contracts. You're a realtor, and do not earn a real estate commission. You actually cannot. Whoops, something happened on my slide there. You cannot earn a real estate commission on these deals and be the investor. You're either the realtor or the investor. So if you don't have a real estate license, great. Okay, so here we are, the premier elite profit reasons. My bigger reason, folks. And all right, guys, I'm gonna tell you guys a story. I'm gonna get really real here with you. Is that okay, Brian?
Do it, man.
Okay, guys. In 2000, I'm gonna see if I can even make it through this. But last year, I was 41 years old. It's December 23rd, 2011. It's 2 days before Christmas. And that very helicopter you guys are looking at, that is not a luxury joyride. That is actually a medevac Bayflight helicopter that I had the, depending on how you look at it, the unfortunate or fortunate experience of riding in. I actually, after a hardcore workout in the morning, and I've always been a hardcore morning workout person, I just like to work out in the morning because I find if I don't do it in the morning, I just don't do it. And for most of you, especially men out there over 35, I'd probably tell you not to work out in the morning anymore, and I can get into that. But after a hardcore work, about an hour afterwards, I started feeling a heartburn, and you know, I just thought it was maybe my respiratory just burning, my lungs burning from all the cardio. Wasn't really sure, and I never have heartburn either, and I didn't even eat for like 8 hours. So as a matter of fact, I didn't have dinner the night before, I didn't have breakfast, so it just got worse. And that day, it was 2 days before Christmas. I was gonna take my kids Christmas shopping to buy something for their mom, take them to their favorite place for lunch, and you know, it gets worse and worse and worse. And I tell my wife, I say, hey, you know what? I'm just gonna lay down and rest a little bit. How about you take care of the kids for a bit? And I even remembered I was like listening to some soft music, just thinking I'd relax and listen to Michael Bublé. And the pain was just getting worse and worse, like a heavy pressure. It felt like a dumbbell on my chest. And it just got worse. So I take some aspirin, and I'm thinking, okay, this is just from a hard workout. My lungs are just burning. And it just got worse. And I didn't want to call an ambulance and be nothing, and I freak out my kids. So I actually just get in my car, and I just haul ass to the hospital. And I mean, I ran every red light. I was driving on the wrong side of the road. I'm sweating profusely, taking my shirt off, and I mean, I even got a business call on the way, and I'm actually talking to someone, and here I am thinking like, oh my God, I feel this chest pain. And I even tell the guy, I said, look, dude, I'm on my way to the hospital. Let me just call you on Tuesday. You know, I'm not feeling so good. So I get in there. Within about 2 minutes of me being in the ER, they say, call a helicopter. And I'm thinking like, what? I go, Doc, for me? I go, I'm 41 years old. He goes, yeah, this is bad. And they had a team of people around me, everyone around me. They saw death in their eyes, and within 5 minutes of me getting there, I was dead on an ER table, flatlined. And, man, it's quite an experience when death's at your door, and I was there, man. And you feel God, he's in the room, and And I'm actually like, I'm like, God, really? Now? I'm 41. I have kids. I have a 6-year-old, a 4-year-old. Now's my time. You got to be kidding me. And I feel that's my time. And if you believe in prayer, and I do, and I mean faithful prayer, I'm not like saying, hey, God, please help for this deal to work out, or, please help the Dolphins to win this weekend, or help me to catch this fish. It's like, God, please, you always come through for me. I need you now more than ever. I know you're going to come through for me. I don't care what all these doctors are saying. I know they don't believe it, but I know you're going to come through for me. And sure enough, here I am, man, alive. So I had a massive heart attack at 41 years old of age. Never had any history of my family of it. Never smoked a cigarette. Never did a drug in my life. It just happened. And so I rode in that helicopter that morning. And, so it makes you think of a lot of things, like what happens in, why was I saved? Why did I live? What does it mean in my life? And here I've been doing, everyone is so interested in what I do for all these years, how I have such a good lifestyle, how I have so much free time. And, man, I realized I do have a pretty inspiring life. And, it made me want to give back, teach others, and just have an inspirational life where others can learn to do this and have the same kind of lifestyle that they want. And, yeah, so that's something that happened to me, Brian. I don't know if you ever knew that.
We discussed it. No, until you told me when we were out in San Fran. No, I didn't know that, and it's amazing, man. Because when I look at you, I would think, I just wouldn't assume that you would go through something like that. And obviously, I guess you could never tell with something like that the way someone looks like, what's going on the inside. But it's scary, man. I'm 38, and to think that could happen at 41. I mean, you literally died, and if you weren't on the table in the right time and medevaced out of there, I guess you wouldn't be here talking to us now. So
yeah, I mean, I get goosebumps on it, but thank you for allowing me to share that. But that's my bigger reason. I want to give back. I want to share. I want to inspire others to go out and have this. And also, I touched on it before. I want to save our country. This with every fiber of my being, I know this is the way to save our housing crisis. And I think finally, and by the efforts of Jeff and some other, and the DPC, which is a pact that we have that's out there, finally they're starting to see that. And the banks for sure are starting to see that. And we have a voice, and we need more people. We need an army of people out here doing this. Our country's in trouble, folks. And I believe real estate is always the leading indicator. And this is going to save our country. And selfishly, also, I don't know if you knew this, Brian, but there's a TV production company that's been following me around, and they want to do a TV show about this, and show how we're saving the country. And I want folks to be in the show. I want folks doing this in other markets, showing them that this works everywhere, all across our country, and I want to put it on TV and show everybody this is how you save our country from real estate crisis.
That's pretty cool, man. No,
So I'm looking for, this is about me looking for people to be on our show and go out there and make a difference and, save our country from what's going on. And what's different about Premier Profits? Well, it's a proven system. I've been doing this, done for you components. It's all it's a paint by number, step by step system that works. Bigger ROA, guys. We talked about the checks. For sure, you're all going to enjoy working on a deal, getting $100,000 to $150,000 than you would working the same amount, doing the same amount of work on a little deal and getting 10 to 15. I always wonder why people do those little deals that get 10 or 15,000 bucks when they can do these big ones and get 100 to 150. And you know what? There's even you can make more. I mean, there's people have done it. There's been $1 million spreads out there that have been earned. Actually, I had one. It was almost going to be 360,000, but at the last minute lien popped up, and that took a chunk out of it. So. But you know what? And that's still good. Less hours spent doing work. This is not a hands-on system. This is about delegating, building a team. We're going to show you how to build a team. And guys, I'm even going to give you the keys to my kingdom. I'm showing you the players, who my team is, who I work with. You're free to steal them, call them, work with them also. And it's a lot more fun. Like I said, guys, it's fun. Now, I've made some money doing this, and you guys will too. I have fun with it. We take my realtors, we get a limo. We spend the day, go look at nice homes. Plus, if I'm going to roll up to a $20 million Palm Beach home, yeah, we're gonna have a little fun doing it. We're gonna get a limo. We're gonna go in style and just have a fun day. And again, it doesn't feel like work when you're having so much fun doing it. And it's about living that life of abundance, designing your life of luxury, and just enjoying. And,
I guess you wouldn't be getting a limo to roll up to some house you're looking at in the ghetto, right?
yeah, exactly. And what's fun? You know what? I've done that before, and yeah, what's fun about going to the ghetto to look at homes? Nothing.
Well, I don't look at homes anyway, dude. But I hear you. I mean,
Yeah, I mean,
you
I've
know,
done it. I know. Believe me, I've gone there locked and loaded. I mean, I've done it in some pretty bad areas, if you know what I mean. So, common myth: it costs more money. It doesn't. It's more difficult. It's actually easier. You need a license. We address that. You don't need one. It takes too much time. This system is not going to take any time. It's going to give you back your time. You need years of experience, folks. I only did this 4 years ago, and it was my first short sale deal. So you don't really need a lot of years of experience. And I hate paperwork. I was scared to do them. I thought it was going to be about all this paperwork. I've never even touched any of the paperwork involved in this. And 5 steps to success. I'll tell you how you do it. You find the deal, and we'll get more into this. You put it under contract. You send it to a negotiator. Again, you're not the one calling banks. I used to hear stories about people that would call the bank. They'd be on the phone for like an hour and a half, holding and holding and holding, waiting to get to someone to talk about their short sale. They finally get it. They finally get someone. They're so excited. Oh, I got to transfer you over to Joe Blow at the other department. They hit the transfer button. They're disconnected. I mean, guys, I've never even called the bank before. You know, I take that back. I have called the bank before, the CEO's office, and you know that's a whole other department. They answer right away. They know who you are. They're going to help you. Step 4: market the property, cash to check. That's the best part, guys. You've worked hard. You've done all this, and boom, here you are, cashing the check, 150,000 bucks. That feels good. Finding the deal. It's easy. The realtors are going to bring you the deals. You can post free ads on Craigslist saying I buy luxury homes. That's going to get you realtors. It's also going to get you sellers. Go to luxury open houses, guys. You know this is a lot of fun. I do this with my family on the weekends. You know, you're in your shorts, you're in your shirt, you're real casual, you're relaxed. You go in the nice neighborhoods of your town. Just roll into a luxury open house. You know, look at it. It's a lot of fun. Shake the realtor's hand. Give him your card. Get his card. Tell him, yeah, you're going to buy it. Real casual. You don't have to get into the whole thing. And then Monday morning, call him, or he's going to call you and say, yeah, I want to make an offer on the property. It's just like that. And that's how I do it all the time. If you want to build a pipeline of short sale deals fast, you do that, and it's going to work. Networking, going to all your things, your chambers, all of the typical networking events you can do. You go there, you meet people, you tell them what you do. Have your speech ready. Let them know what you do right away. And you tell them, you're buying short sales. Send a pizza. A funny story is I've sent a pizza to someone we couldn't get a hold of. We sent them a pizza on a day where the Dolphins were playing, and yeah, he wasn't calling us before, but we sent that. Imagine you're getting ready to watch your favorite team play a game. You're sitting down. Your doorbell rings. There's a pizza with someone's card on. Hey, call me. I want to buy your house. You think that won't get someone's attention? Absolutely. So let me tell you a few stories. Here's a house I bought, Saddle Club Road. This is a 15,000 square foot home, guys. And the owner of this house, they're all amazing stories. And when you're doing this, you're going to hear all the stories. And
they have a bunch of carcasses on the floor. I see over there.
Well, this guy loved hunting, and he built a 3,000 square foot trophy room. Wow. And he had this big giant mountain on the side of the wall. Okay, and he actually left all of that stuff. And dude, there's pictures of him with like politicians, the Halliburton guys, and he was worked something in the war, some kind of self-defense provider. But yeah, man, and all these guys, man, they all have a story like this, and they're all really humble. They're easy to work with, and actually, he said, just keep all this stuff. I don't want it. So actually, I had to tear down that mountain for the new buyer because the new buyer was actually scared of all the animals. And I like hunting and fishing, so I called Bash Pro to see if they'd buy all these animal heads, and I ended up with all of them. And but actually, the funny thing is, when I took down that wall, behind it, I found a Browning gun safe, and a Browning gun safe was like $2,000. So I called the guy and I say, hey, listen, you left that safe back here, and I said, do you want it? And it was open, so there wasn't like any cash or guns or anything in it. So I go, do you want it? He goes, no, just keep it. You can have it. So I mean, and I wanted to take it home with me, but that safe was like 2,000 pounds. So what do we do? I just sold it on Craigslist, and people are calling me, begging me to buy that thing. I mean, it was like, grown men were practically like crying for that safe. And
there are the fringe benefits of working in the $1 million homes. You just kind of like, take it, it's yours, whatever,
Yeah, and that happens. That's going to happen and stuff like that. So I bought that home for $2.7 million, and look, if I have a PhD in if I had a master's in real estate when I started working on this house, when I finished, I had a PhD. So bought it for 2.7 and sold it for 3.3. Same motto, folks. Bought it in the morning, sold it in the afternoon. What else are you going to do? You're going to put it under contract. The realtors already have the contracts. They're going to fill it out for you. You don't even have to fill out your contracts. The realtors do it. I'm going to give you the special top secret proprietary denims that I use, my when buying, when selling language. This keeps you out of trouble, lets the banks know what you're doing, lets your end buyers know it, and yeah, they work out great. And actually, a lot of them they've been approved by the country's top short sale guys. Must have walk away free clause. Just lets you walk away on any deal. Let's say something just for whatever reason you don't get the approval you need from the bank. Sometimes the bank actually forecloses on a property, and I'll show you how to hedge against that and to try to prevent that from happening. But it happens from time to time. So I'll show you walk away free from it, and that's it. Here's the house I bought. This is the one I think I showed you guys this one earlier. I bought this one for $728. This is the one that got approved super fast within 2 months. The bank took my first offer. That's like never even happened before. And Brian, you know that's a rarity. And sold it for $965. Same situation. None of my own money. Bought in the morning, went to lunch, came back and sold in the afternoon. You know, what else do you do? You send it to your negotiator. Again, you don't want to be the guy calling the bank, waiting on hold forever. You're going to have a negotiator. We're going to give you the short sale checklist to give to your realtor. They're going to do it. You don't want to do all the work. You don't want to deal with any of this. We even have a done-for-you program. We'll work it all out for you, and we'll split the profit 50-50. We'll do everything for you, and even arrange your funding as well. Find your own negotiator, or we'll do it. Here's another one. Okay. Here's a good story, guys. Here's a house. This house is gorgeous. It was brand new. Never even lived.
Wait, Rob, back up a second.
Yes.
Did you just say that you'll provide the negotiation as well?
Yeah. Yeah. Sure. Absolutely. We'll do the negotiation. We'll even fund it. We'll even provide the funding as well.
I knew about the funding, so I know a lot of people are worried about well, how do I get this money? I knew that you have the money. That's not a problem. But I didn't realize about the negotiating. That's very interesting. So someone doesn't have to worry, so to speak, about, oh, I got to get a negotiator first. They can just use yours.
Absolutely.
Wow. Yeah, I seriously didn't know that. That's pretty awesome.
We'll do the deal with them. We'll tell them what to bring us, and we'll do the whole thing for them. We'll split the profit. They want just easy. Bring it to us, and that's it. So, yeah, I mean, we want to get folks on TV, but we also want to do some deals too.
So for the people out there with the big head that want to get on TV, this is literally an opportunity to get on this show.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, this is the way to save America from the housing crisis, and the visuals, everything. People want this, and the TV producers they've been following me around for a while, so they know what we do. They know our model. They're excited for it.
Cool.
I got to tell you the story of this house, guys. This is Vero Beach, okay? Folks, the realtor that brought me this house, it was never even lived in, never even just the builder built it, and just everything kind of went south. So the realtor worked in the realtor office for 2 years. She never even did a deal, okay? So finally, she embraced this system. She went out. She was a little intimidated, went and talked to these owners, and she goes, hey, I got this. And boom, she got the listing first try one day. And I don't care what market you're in. When you come back with a listing like this, just a beachfront house, when you come back with that, every realtor in that office is talking about you. She was the big star that day. Everybody was, dying to know all about it. And, man, that got me a lot of buzz, got me a lot of other realtors on board. And imagine this poor woman. She's been working in real estate for 2 years, never did a deal. She did this. She made an $80,000 commission. And, ask your realtors in your market, are they making $80,000 commissions? You can provide that for them with this. And from our standpoint, guys, as investors, folks, I never saw this house. I never went to this house. I never met the buyer. I talked to the seller on the phone. That was it. I never met the other realtor involved. And boom. And, I bought this for $3.25 and sold it for $3.6. So these are the kind of deals that you're going to be doing, and these are the kind of profit spreads. Market the property, put on the MLS. We're going to show you the special wording to do. That's going to attract the buyers. It's going to bring the buyers to the property like bees to honey. It's going to make your realtors busy, and they love that. They love feeling busy. They love having action, and have open houses. This system is going to really make your realtor superstars, and that's what it's all about, guys. Step out of the limelight, and that's what for the last 3 or 4 years. No one even knows who I am doing these. My realtors are getting all the recognition. They're feeling like they're superstars, and they're actually doing all the work, doing these open houses, worrying about the listings and all that, and boom, you're the investor doing it all, and, it's wonderful. Here's a house that when I bought this was one of these rare, Brian, what it's like when you're going after a property really hard, and sometimes you just walk away and like, there's a million deals out there.
Yep.
But this was one I really, really wanted. So I told the realtors, guys, you go out and get this, and if I need to come, I'll come. And I don't go to a lot of the deals, and I like to create a little bit of a scarcity mindset. So when I do come to a house, I mean, Brian's met me. He knows, like, I'm very unassuming and really don't walk around with a big air of confidence. But when I walk into somebody's house, a seller's house like this, I walk in there like I'm Donald Trump to buy that house. And when they see me walk in, they probably think it's like a young billionaire walking in. And that's the kind of mindset that all of you need to have, and you all can have it, because trust me, I'm very humble, I'm very meager, but when it's time to go and walk into that house, I'm like a football player putting on his pads, taking the field. I'm getting that house. And my realtors know that when they do get me to a house, they are super, super excited because they know they're walking out with a listing. And my realtors got stonewalled for this for 4 months. So I told them I knew I could make a deal in this house. So I said, guys, you get this. So finally I said, I'm going to come. So I came to the meeting, and the seller was playing a little bit of games too. He was a Russian guy, and he actually said I had to first meet his daughter-in-law and his son, who were kind of running the show, before I can meet with him. Normally I would just say, screw that, and just, walk away. There's enough deals. But I just want, sometimes you want it, you want it. You know what I mean, Brian?
Yeah, I do. Yep.
You want to play full out and win. So I went, I met the and the realtor on that was, it was already a listed property, and that realtor was kind of stonewalling us. Well, the son and the daughter-in-law, they weren't like super friendly, but I can kind of tell we had an affinity. We were kind of like, we were getting along pretty well. And the son pulled me aside and he goes, "Hey, has our realtor been giving you a tough time? Because I hear you guys have been trying to, get this property." And I said, "Yeah." I said, "She's been stonewalling us a little bit." And he goes, "Well, look, if you want, I'll fire her right now on the spot and let your guy take over." And, I'm not about that. I want to create win-win situations where everyone can close, everyone can shake hands and be happy. And I said, no. But that realtor, she saw him talking to me on the side, and she knew she was on the bubble. Well, right away, she started warming up to us and to our system. Next thing you know, about a week goes by. It's July 3rd, and the guy's in town, the father. And he calls me, and he says, "Hey, look, I know tomorrow's 4th of July, and I know it's a big holiday for Americans, but would you mind, coming and meeting with me? It's the only day I have on 4th of July." So I'm like, "Yeah, sure, of course." I had plans. I have a barbecue, all those other things. I said, "Sure, I'll swing by." So sure enough, I go, and I'm thinking, okay, the guy feels bad. He's taking me away from the holiday. Maybe he's going to give me the deal. Well, the minute I walk in there, the guy's got his arms folded, and just the body language, Brian, body language. The guy's just like, no way, right? And so I'm thinking, oh, great. I'm spending my 4th of July for this. So then we spend some time there. I talk to him a little bit. This guy's not talkative, doesn't smile. He's just like, he's just stonewalling me. And I give him my business card. And folks, when you meet me, if we ever meet, I hope we do, I give out these metal business cards, and people just love them. So this guy, this whole meeting, he's just tapping that business card, just like he's crazy for that business card. And I'm seeing this, I'm thinking, man, this guy, he's just really enthralled with it. So sure enough, he looks at me, he looks at his realtor, and he says, "You do whatever this man says." And so right there's my chance. I got my audience. The lady knows she's on a bubble. When I tell her, I say, "Listen, you follow our MLS system. You put what we want to put in the MLS. You put it the way we tell you." And I tell her, I said, free up your calendar because you're going to be busy all weekend. Well, this realtor, she did not believe me at all. She's like, sure, she reluctantly did it, but guess what? She had people lining up at that house like crazy. By Sunday, she had a buyer. She was super excited. She was calling me, apologizing, thanking me for not getting her fired, and just being so happy we kept her in the deal. She made an $80,000 commission on it, and she was just super, super happy. And now, of course, she's bringing us deals. She's bringing us other referrals. And, yeah, so those kind of things happen. And here's what happened. We bought that house for 1.6, and you're going to see why I wanted this one so bad. We sold it for 1.985. And so that's part of what's going to happen here. And, guys, step number 5, the best part, cash the check. And you know what? You don't even have to cash the check. It's going to be a wire right into your account. So it's a lot of fun, And that's closing day. We're going to teach you how to work with your title companies. Celebrate you earned it, folks. Go out, buy your wife that purse she's always wanted. Take that vacation you've always wanted to take the family on. Give to your local church and your charity when it comes back to you tenfold. Be a giver, but enjoy. Take the vacation. Take your wife to Europe. Just enjoy, guys. Life's about enjoying, and I want you all to be my next success story. I want you to have this kind of life, and this deal is less work done for you, big checks, more free time. If you only want to do one deal a year, do a deal a year, But we're going to teach you how to build your A-team, how to attract sellers, have realtors at the ready, motivating buyers, closing quickly, getting that check. Also, I'm going to show you how to create your lending avatar. What does that mean? Well, that means I'm going to show you how to get the lenders that are easiest to work with, the ones where you can, get through the system fast, and don't, they're not going to give you a lot of trouble, and just get your deal approved and get money in your pocket right away. Give you the deal attraction marketing system. This is the done-for-you system that relieves marketing pressure while saving you time and money. Emails and direct mail advertisement, flyers, realtors, all that stuff. Give you the document library. These are all the documents that I use, everything you need. Attorney vetted, attorney approved. 7-figure rapid results Rolodex. Guys, this is the king. This is the keys to my kingdom right here. This is everybody I use, everybody on my team. They understand this model. They utilize this model with me, and these are the folks that know how to do these deals. You're free to use them. You're free to steal them. Celebrity Dealmakers Closing Checklist. I'm going to give you some of the two most important checklists I use. They're so important. They're little electronic stickies on my computer. I look at them before every purchase contract and every sales contract. And even though I've done a gazillion of these deals, I always look at this checklist just to be sure, because they're going to keep you out of any last-minute issues. No Money Down Blueprint, how to do this with no money. Profit Now Answers on Demand. Guys, we're going to have a weekly Q&A sessions. We're going to have a live call. It's going to be weekly, so you're going to have your answers. I'm also going to answer any emails. You have emails, you're going to have a 24-hour answer. You email me a question about this, we're going to answer you right away. There's not going to be waiting for a week or waiting for the next coaching call. Boom. You have an answer. You have a question, boom, we're going to answer it. Insider Access, the Answers on Demand Vault. There you go. So, folks, these are what are you going to get with the Premier Elite Profits Luxury Home Flipping System. Get the $1 Million Coaching Series, Deal Attraction Marketing System, Document Library, Rolodex, the keys to my kingdom, my closing checklist, No Money Down Deal Blueprint, Profit Now Answers on Demand. Okay, there's your Q&A. If all of this does, guys, a total value of $7,967, if all of this does for you is make you a measly $50,000, would it be worth the investment? Absolutely. If all the system did for you was teach you and show you how to do 5 to 6, even 10 deals a year where you made over $1 million, would it be worth the investment? Of course it would. If all the system did for you was help you to quit your job and replace it with this business so you can spend more time with your family, doing the things you want to do in life, would it be worth the investment? Yes or yes? So here's what I want to do. I want to make this as easy as possible for you. What I'm looking to do is I want to empower you. I only want to work with serious people. As I mentioned, we're looking for folks that can do this, put it on TV, and just embrace it and run with it. And it's not even going to be $7,000. Not even going to be $5,000. It's not even going to be $2,000. For you, I want to do this. I want to make it easy. Here we go. It's going to be $997. Folks, it's going to be $997. Just go right now to flipfreeprofits.com/elite. It's right there. It's ready.
Rob,
what?
let me. I want to just jump in there and say something real quick. I think I got a bunch of emails, and basically what a lot of people are wondering is, well, how does this compete with your system? And they're starting off the question completely wrong. It doesn't compete with what Jeff and I have created at all. It's a complement to it. If you have any desire to cash these kinds of checks, chances are, using the Flip Free Profit system, it ain't going to happen, okay? We tell people up front, in the Flip Free Profit system, you can expect to average $8,000 to $10,000. It's the nature of the release. It's the nature of people not having $100,000 in cash to pay you. It's the nature of working in the lower end to the mid-range, even the high end. I mean, don't get me wrong, but the $1 million plus luxury market, what you've created is unique. What you've created has nothing to do with the Flip Free Profit system. And I would go so far to say that you can use both. You use my system. I didn't even know that, but you've been using it since it came out. And that's in a different method, but for the luxury model, for the $1 million plus homes, you have a checklist, you have a system in place where if you just push the button, as stupid and cliche as it sounds, you crack the code, man. And the thing is, there's nobody talking about your system, because it's not to the public yet. And that's a fact that you can look around. You haven't gotten any emails about it. No one's, invited you to a webinar. This is the first anyone is hearing about it. And, Nathan Jurwitz brought this to me and he said, look, Bri, he said, you would know better than anyone what this guy's, doing. Take a look at his slides. Take a look at what he's done. And I was nothing less than impressed, man. Literally impressed. Jeff had a prior commitment. Jeff would have been on this call with us to go through his take, and I know you mentioned what he's doing with the Congress and all, which is really exciting. But, guys, the Flip Free Profits 2.0 is coming out on March 1st. That's our tentative date. And it has nothing to do with this. This is the luxury market. And I wanted to kind of throw something out there. I was kind of thinking about this before, just to kind of prove that there's no competition going on here. If any of you are interested in working with Rob and getting this going and exploring the luxury market to have a six-figure payday, we're going to give you a copy of our product for free when it comes out, okay? Actually, let me take that back. We'll charge you $1 because the way the shopping cart works, you got to charge something. So we'll charge you $1. All right. All you have to do is send us an email and send it to tom@bormeoproperties.com, tom@bormeoproperties.com. We'll let you know, or you can email us later on. But the point is this: $1 we'll give you our product because we wanted to do that to prove that it's not the competition. It's a complement to what we do, guys. This is awesome, and I am so excited to start with just the two I talked about earlier, with these two high-end realtors. Well, actually, they're both brokers, but I know they do $1 million plus. They pride themselves on their marketing. One of them, his name is Jack, and he basically says, what does he say? Something, he's got this little cliche line, like if it's $1 million or more, I don't know, dude. But the point is, if it's less than $1 million, he won't even take it. And I don't know. I'm certainly not intimidated. Anyone who knows me, I don't really get intimidated by much. But I just didn't really think that there was the market for it. And you totally blew my mind, man. I mean, I remember it crystal clear. We're sitting in the hotel, in the lobby after the meeting, and you have your computer open. You're laying all this out slide by slide and your documents and your process. And I was shocked, man. I was absolutely shocked. And I'm excited because the thing is this. You mentioned about 2013, being the year of the short sale. Well, they called 2012 the year of the short sale. Now, the fact that, thanks to Jeff, they passed those laws that went into effect November 1st, what people don't realize is they don't take effect instantly in the real world, meaning all the servicers have to roll them out. It takes time. We're not going to really start seeing those changes as far as not needing to be late on your mortgage to qualify and all the other things, really for another 2 to 3 months. So if you position yourselves now in February and learn the short sale business, if I were you, I would learn the smaller end or the lower end market, the mid, and the luxury. Because, dude, you close one of these, and I think you'd be able to answer this better than anyone. Rob, what does that do for your confidence when you close your first one? I mean, it literally must have just blew your head off.
Oh yeah, I mean your confidence is so high, and not only that, guys. I didn't even get into this, but there's a victory lap of emails that go. I call it the email victory lap. It's basically everyone that was involved in that deal just emailing you to thank you. It's just so much gratitude. Everyone's happy. And sometimes there's some roller coasters in a short sale, and you got to remember also there's a family involved in a foreclosure, which is not a good experience. So I mean, when you get everyone just thanking you, so happy, so grateful, and I'm grateful to even be a part of it. And yeah, we're the impetus to start this, but it's amazing to be that guy. They just got all started, and you just see all the revenue, all the people are happy, and now the banks, Brian, the banks are actually now starting out. They used to never give the sellers money, so the seller to walk away with his head down, dejected. Now sellers are getting 30, 40 G's to walk away, and they need that money now too. So
I just got one approved, 35 grand today from Chase, and you know what? That's the thing, and people forget about that. Like, yeah, not everybody's going to get money to do a short sale, obviously, but it has to do with the settlements and all that stuff. But the point is, you're helping people, and Rob, you know this. Doesn't happen all the time, but how many times have you had a seller come up to you and thank you, or I don't know about you, I don't really go to my closings, but they will call you, email you, and sincerely thank you. A lot of times it's the women. They'll call you up, and some of them are crying, and they're just so excited to have this behind them. They went through a divorce, and the husband left and ran off with someone else, and here she is stuck with this house, and blah blah blah. It's a million stories out there, man. But people really do appreciate what you do, and that's really nice because sometimes you think, you're working every day, you're getting this stuff cranking out, and just to get that satisfaction at the end, like, wow, I really did help someone. It's not all about the money. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and it's really true, and you see that as you get into it. I mean, we can talk about it, but when these folks are into it and they're doing it, they see exactly, when you're in it, you see it and you feel it, and you get that, above ground view of it, and it's incredible. And yeah, I've had, people crying, happy, and I know these guys are going to rebuild their lives and they're going to make millions again. I just know it. So Yeah, and the buyers are happy. I mean, guys, the buyers are going to send you gifts. The buyers are thrilled because they just got a great deal on a house. And buyers of luxury, they don't want to deal with the short sale. A buyer of they will never buy this and deal with the negotiating with a bank like we will. A guy with you know, 3, 4, 5 million, 6 million bucks to buy this kind of a home, they have that money cash. When they want it, they want it. They don't want to wait around. And you also mentioned Brian about last year being the year of the short sale. I remember them saying that, and I gave a keynote speech in 2011, and I used the term. I said if Time Magazine could make it the person of the year, it'd be the short sale this year. And I said in 2011, and not quite as how I just said. I was a little more eloquently than that, but it was kind of funny. And I was just reminiscing as you mentioned that. Thinking back, 2011 and 2012, those years were actually just about as good as those heydays when I was selling the lots.
Yeah.
And so people always remember like the big boom. Well, guess what? We're in a boom. And you just mentioned that. I just realized that I forgot it. And getting back to the original, the questions about how does this affect your system? I'm a customer of yours, Brian. You want to use your system. You want to use your system with this because if you don't want to wait 30 days like I showed you on that house that I had to wait for the 31 days when I bought it for $1 million, I sold it for 1.5. If you don't want to find the money, because that kind of money is a little bit harder to get a hold of, guys.
Right.
That because then you got to buy insurance on the house. You're in charge of that house for 31 days, and you know, I, that's a big responsibility.
And Rob, correct me if I'm wrong, but you mentioned earlier that there's a large percentage of the buyers in this luxury market that are paying cash. So you're going to find them. You tell me that if you were to do the flip-free method and do the release of contract, if they were going to, maybe it's not 100 grand, but I don't think they'd have a problem just giving you 50 grand for a release because they probably have it, right?
I've gotten $150 to do that release, my friend.
Well, I mean, this is live talk, bro. What you got? What's the best you ever did?
That's it, exactly that. Even Steven, 150. Flat,
150.
flat out release, my man. Your paperwork, bro.
They used my system to make 150 grand
Yeah,
on one deal.
and guess what? And you know what, dude? It saved me some money too because you know what? It saves you the transaction cost.
Nice.
So
So
I
that's what
didn't.
I mean. And you don't get into the release. So that's why people need the flip-free profit system. So like I said, guys, I don't know what else to tell you here. I mean, there's two things I want to say. Like I said, number four, I just thought of something. As far as those of you, as I mentioned, if you do not have flip-free profits in its current version, and again, the 2.0 is coming out here in a few weeks, you know, after you purchase this from Rob, just reply to the email, send him an email, let him know. He'll shoot it over to me and my staff. We will hook you up. $1, you have a copy of our system. I mean, we'd like to do that for you. For those of you that already are members and you've already bought the Flip Free Profit system, I came up with something that I wanted to do for you, and just send that email to Rob and put him in touch with me. Say you're an existing Flip Free Profits member, and I have something special for you that you'll be very happy that you did. Because you know what? Here's the thing, guys. If you cut through all the BS, there's how can I put this? I'm being careful because it's being recorded. It's let me keep things positive. It's refreshing and it's nice to meet a fellow real estate investor that is out there in the trenches doing this every day. Okay? And to meet someone who's walking the walk, they're doing this every day of their life. You know, not every day, but you know what I mean. This is what they do. Okay? Rob is the real deal. He's really doing this. All of this was not crafted in some hour, 90-minute presentation to take $1,000 of your money. And obviously there's a full guarantee. You know, if you check it all out, what is it, 30 days, Rob? Probably 30-day guarantee?
Oh yeah, that's my next slide actually. 30-day guarantee, absolutely. And
I mean,
folks,
yeah, go ahead, Rob.
I mean, yeah, I mean, the real world value of this is way more than that. I'm not doing this to make the 997. I'm well enough. Yeah, I do have a little bit of a motive. I want to make this TV show. I want to get folks doing this in other areas of my market so I can show the country and the world this system, Premier Elite Profit System, luxury home flipping system, works across the country and is the way to save this country from the crisis. And let's do it on TV. Let's make it fun, guys. It is. Look, those TV shows about flipping homes, they stink. Man, this. No one does what we do. It's amazing. You guys saw those homes. I mean, that's. I want everybody doing that, making the six-figure paychecks and showing the story about all those people. How I mean, it's life transforming for those folks that we're dealing with, and for us too, guys. This, as you can see, this system transformed my life.
Yeah, yeah.
You know.
And Rob,
And
I want you to know I really meant that. I mean, when Nate introduced me to you and we got to sit down and talk and we spent a few hours together and then we spent more time in Florida together, like, it's just cool, man. It's like, you know what? Here's a guy. You don't need to sell this system. You don't need $1,000 a copy. It's like, come on, man. I mean, look at the money you're making. I mean, it's you want to really get things out there, and once you really got into it, I think people realize that you're just a normal guy, man. You're making a hell of a lot of money, but you know what? You're actually out there doing this. You're looking to take it to the next level. I mean, I'm excited about the TV show. I'm excited to get on that thing myself.
yeah,
Um,
and I want folks to have this lifestyle that I have because like other dads at school, they say, man, Rob, how are you always at all these school events? How are you always doing this and doing that? How do you have so much time? And I see them running the rat race. Guys, I had a heart attack, man. I dropped dead, and I wasn't even working that hard. I can imagine folks running the rat race, and it's just like, man, I don't want, man. We weren't intended to be on this earth to run around in a wheel and to sit in a cubicle. That's just not what life is about. Life is about enjoyment, just going out and being abundant and just enjoying life and being
hey,
productive.
man, you want to hear a funny story? Well, maybe I started that off wrong. You want to hear something interesting?
Yeah, sure.
38 years old, right? July 1st, which is coming up soon, 2013, will be the 20-year anniversary that I was diagnosed with stage 4 advanced terminal cancer. When I was 18,
Whoa.
when I was
Wow.
18 years old, started not feeling real good, and kind of bumped myself on the couch down below, if you know what I mean, and thought I kind of strained something or got a hernia or something. And I was putting my way through college. I was working as a butcher, lifting up heavy slabs of meat, and didn't know if I pulled something or whatnot. And I went in for a checkup, and after some blood work and ultrasounds later, I was advanced with stage 4. It was terminal. I was started testicular, just like Lance Armstrong, spread into all throughout my lymph nodes, my whole body, the lungs, the whole thing. And not a lot of people know that. I don't really run around talking about that. But I guess I've been through a lot of ups and downs in my life. Financially, I came from nothing and very blue collar, average person, and worked my way up to a position of success and lost it all, and worked it back up and lost it all. And I think that the drive that I've always had, it's always been from that experience. I always said, life is short, and sometimes when I would get real caught up and depressed or frustrated or whatnot, I would always remember that, you know what, I probably shouldn't even be here right now. And there's a lot of people that aren't here right now that went through what I went through, and same thing with you, with your heart. And something in the back of my mind or my spirit always tells me that there's a greater good. There's something bigger out there for you. 38 years, 20 years later, to be honest, I don't even know if I found it yet. I'm just trying to do the best that I can every day. And, I'm running my business, and I have my product now, and I'm working with Jeff, and I've surrounded myself with the best people in the nation, frankly, which I'm very fortunate to have, risen to that level. And I'm still trying to figure it out, man, but I can totally relate to you, and I know you didn't know that about me, but I can totally relate to you and wanting to do something bigger. And it's just something inside of you, I mean, after you're making so much money, you're like, wow, like, what's next? And I can
Yeah,
totally relate to that.
yeah, and it just makes you want to inspire others, and it's a blessing. And when you live life with that kind of appreciation, that kind of gratitude, it brings more abundance to you. And speaking of abundance, guys, we're getting orders in, and I want to thank everyone that's coming in and bringing these orders. I see Jeff, I see Chris, I see Joaquin, I see Vincent. Welcome aboard, guys. I mean, this is the way to do it. And folks, I am so convinced of this system. I believe in it so much that absolutely there's a 30-day guarantee. Try it, like it, but use it, guys. Go utilize this system. I mean, listen, I've been guilty of it too. I know I've bought products, I put them on my shelf, and never even opened the wrapper, okay? Guys, embrace this system, run with it, because I've also bought systems where I cleared everything that I had going for that weekend, and I learned it, embraced it, and ran with it, and made significant profits. I've even gone to local hotels, checked in, turned off my phone, and just sat there and read through systems to learn products. So this is not the one that you put on your shelf and you leave it. This is the one you buy it. You're going to have access right away to the membership area. You're going to have access to the training modules. It's all done. It's ready for you, and it's ready for you to go out there and start crushing it in 2013, because these are the years. These are the boom times. Right now, we're living in them. And what else, guys? Even for you who are ordering now, I'm going to throw in some more bonuses. You're going to have a Taste of Victory quick start call. Guys, the hardest part about getting started is just getting started. We're going to get you started, guys. I'm going to hold your feet to the fire. I might even burn them a little bit. I want you to do this. I want you to embrace this. I want you to run with it, and we're going to hold you accountable. And, this is just the push you're going to need to lift you off the ground and get that momentum going. Instant deal review. All right, folks. You know what? I have a pretty easy life, but I'm going to do this for you guys. Send me your deal. I'll do this with one deal. Send me a deal, and what I'll do is I'll review it for you. I'll tell you if it's good or not, and I'll be happy to do that for you. See how we're looking. What else? Living a luxury live retreat, guys. This is going to be our 3-day luxury live retreat. It's normally a $5,000 value. People pay $5,000 for this. I'm going to give it to you for you and a guest for free. This is not a pitch-a-thon. There's no speakers. It's just going to be me and my top advisors. Maybe a couple of friends swing by with some things that and some strategies that help them. But this is going to be all content, all learning how to go out there and crush it with luxury real estate, and how to stay current in the cutting-edge strategies working in today's market. Cutting-edge strategy, a product like Brian's, so that way you don't have to worry about a 30-day hold, a 90-day hold, a 60-day hold, any of that business. You're buying it, you're selling it, you're getting paid, and that's it. Connect with future business partners, private money lenders. They'll be there too. So you guys need funding, you need the money. I'm going to give it to you, and I'm going to show you where to get it, but there'll be guys there with it also. So, folks, all of these things, and I know we're getting late, so I'm going to try to run this down for you guys quick, but you're going to get all of the things we talked about, including the bonuses. Okay, guys? And, we've been talking about some great things, and I've showed you all these nice things, and they're great. You're going to have your own luxury home. I want that for you. You're all going to have that. Driving a Bentley or your dream exotic car, it's cool. Flying private, it's life-changing. Having yachts, boats, all the things you love, traveling, all that's something. It's something, man. It's wonderful. But you know what, my friends? All the things we're talking about, all these things, they rock, okay? And they're cool. But you know what the most important thing is? Just simply abundance. A life of abundance. A state, a mentality, a certainty of abundance. An abundance of wealth. You're going to have it. An abundance of time. It's yours. An abundance of family. An abundance of quality time with your family. That's all we really want, really. It's all everybody wants. An abundance of health. It's vital. An abundance of love. It's beautiful. And my favorite of all, this system just brings you an abundance of enjoyment. Just simply pure enjoyment, loving life, enjoying the journey of life. Life is about a journey, guys. It's our destination. It's there. It's set. We're going to get there. Let's enjoy the way, all of it, the ups and the downs, even the bad parts. Yeah, it's true. Guys, even the ones that humble you. I know it sounds crazy, but try to even enjoy your struggles. It makes you that much more grateful, that much more appreciative. And you know something? The gratitude, the servitude, humility, and the appreciation, it just brings you more abundance. And, you see the value of this. I know they always put up a high value of what it is, and, I know they always do that. But you know what, guys? I don't want to tell you the value of this is $10,000 because what does it mean specifically to you? What's the value specifically to you? What does it mean specifically to be present at your son's soccer game? To be there in the moment, not be looking down at your iPhone, your cell phone, your email, your text. To not miss your son make his first goal or that game-winning shot because you were worried about some email or some work matters. What does it mean specifically to you to be present and being in the moment? What does it mean to you to be at your daughter's recital with your mind focused on her, watching her perform her craft and in the moment? I'm not going to insult you and tell you that's worth $10,000 because I know it's worth a lot more. What does it mean specifically to you to not have to worry about bills, to worry about the office, not worry about all those things? What does it mean specifically to you to be able to help others in your family? Send your children, your grandchildren to the best private schools, not have to worry about their college education. No, they're going to have the head start in life and have that stepping stone to success. What does it mean specifically to you to be able to take all the time you want? Take that vacation you always dreamed about. Write that bestseller that you know has always been in you. Write that screenplay. What does it mean specifically to you to learn that new language? To travel, to get in the best shape of your life, or anything else that's been on your bucket list. Whatever it is that you always wanted to do but have put off for so many years, and folks, those years, they go by fast, don't they? I mean, you take away all the busyness and the noisiness of it all, those years, they go by like minutes. And this system, it gives you all those things. And that's what I want for you folks. And, the product, this system, it's $997, and it's there for you. Go to the page. We'll even show you how scholarship program, how to get it for free. Do a deal with us. We'll send you back. We'll send you back the initial 997 when you do a done for deal with us.
Whoa,
Go
whoa,
to
whoa,
Flip
whoa, whoa.
Profits.
Go back again. What was that? No, keep the slide up in case some people have to run. Well, what was that? Tell me about that again. You're going to give them their money back? I didn't hear that part.
Yes. Yes, we will. When they do a done for, they'll pay the 997 now. They'll be in our scholarship program. When they've been on your webinar, we're gonna know who's on your webinar. We're gonna give them that 997 product. When they do their first deal, we're gonna refund that to them. When
Wow.
they've done a done for you partnership deal with us, we're gonna give them the 997 back.
That's pretty impressive, man.
Yeah, it makes it free. It makes it free, guys. Go run with this, embrace this.
Now, is there any time limit? I'm sure some people are thinking, because I'm kind of a skeptic at heart. Okay, dude, I spend $1,000 and it takes me 6 months or a year to make my first deal, or 2 years. Is there any time limit on them getting that money back, or no?
No, it could be. They can do a deal tomorrow. They can do a deal 5 years from now. If they do it with us, we can give them the money back.
Cool, man.
Yep.
Okay.
So we got some more. We got some more orders coming in. We have some ladies on board. We have an Amy. We have a Darlene. Welcome. Get ready to question 2013. This is your time.
Hey, Rob, I'm certainly no expert with the GoToMeeting myself. Jeff normally runs that, to be honest with you. But I know I'm just a panelist, so I can't see any questions. And I don't know if when I set that up I did it properly, but do you have any, take a few minutes and answer any questions there? Are you seeing any questions, or did I totally screw that up?
I'm going to actually, I'm at the end of I'm going to escape for a second and look at it. I don't know how to see. No, I don't see any questions. But you know what? I'm not sure. If anyone has some questions, just pop up their hands.
Look at these two guys. Can't even run the freaking GoToWebinar.
Yeah. Yeah. You know what? Hey guys, you know what? Yeah. Actually, if there's questions, I don't see them here.
Aren't we polished salesmen, Rob?
Oh, okay. Wait. I got some. What is FFP 2.0? Sound keeps fading. Oh, I didn't know about that. I do. Oh, look, oh, wow, man, there's a lot of these questions here. You guys all see all this stuff, right? I came on late.
I'm just a panelist, so I'm just thinking if people have any questions, if you want to go start answering some, I mean, by the way, that first one was directed to me. FFP stands for Free Profits. It's the name of the system that I created with Jeff Watson, teaching you how to do the release and termination of contract. The 2.0 is the new version we're putting out with a tentative release date of March the 1st. Again, all existing members, we're going to have to charge something for the way the shopping cart works, but to get the new membership site. So it's $1 for all the existing members, and that's why I said that if you're not already a member and you don't have my product, and you jump on board with Rob here, I'll give you that for free, or technically for $1. And then not thinking, well, that doesn't really do anything for the people that already have the product. I came up with a special little bonus, and I don't want to reveal it live, but there's something I have for you that you're going to be extremely happy about, and you're going to be shocked I'm giving this to you, which is something you're not expecting. But anyway, just let us know when you do that. But that's 2.0, guys. It's coming out, and the difference between that and the original one is real simple. It's just taking the laws that went into effect November 1st, the 3 major points and the 7 major subpoints, and updating the paperwork, the processes, the trainings, the videos, etc., and how to best utilize that. And those laws, by the way, were written by my partner, Jeff Watson, who was given credit as co-architect of the bill. So that's pretty powerful to even say that sentence. But that's what that is.
Yeah, and hey, Brian, you know what I want to mention? I see some questions here. Guys, there's also going to be a physical product sent to you. So in addition to be able to get into our membership site, you are also going to get the 7 DVDs, 7 CDs, and the book sent to you as well.
Oh, really?
So, yes, and I know that.
Dude, by the way, I don't know if I'm looking at that right, but is your battery about to die?
Is that mine?
It ain't mine.
I see. Yeah, you're looking up there. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna plug in.
I just wouldn't want you to cut off on us while we're answering these questions.
Actually, I'm glad you asked me because I see a ton of questions. Hey, folks, you know what? I've never even really done one of these before, so I appreciate you guys all very much. I got some people here sending some laughs here. It's funny. Do you see these questions I'm answering, Brian, or do you want me to read them out loud?
No, honestly, dude, I really can't see them because you can only have one organizer at a time, I think.
Okay, so someone's asking the funding. Is he talking about, is that just transactional funding for the deals? Yes, guys, you're buying in the morning, you're selling in the afternoon. That's all you need. And again, if you're worrying about why would you need transactional funding, because maybe you're thinking you might need 30-day money, well, Brian can tell you about why you won't need 30-day money with the resale restriction.
Yeah, I mean, basically that's what we get into in the course, and if you know what happened with the laws, and it's only Fannie and Freddie based, which means, of course, the FHFA, which stands for the Federal Housing Finance Agency, oversees Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac, and so the laws only apply to them, and they only own half the mortgages. But unfortunately, all the servicers kind of do whatever Fannie and Freddie do. So with the resale restrictions being brought down, and the 30 days and capping you at 20%, that's why you're going to need other things in your arsenal, guys. You're going to need alternate strategies, and that's why we created the 2.0 version. And so getting back to what Rob does and with the luxury market, it's no different. It's no different. The difference is this. The difference is on those properties that are at that price point, the key leverage that you have is that the banks don't want them back. And I think that's the most important thing to keep in mind here. They don't want them back. Now, look, at the end of the day, they probably don't want any properties back. But you know what? Again, Rob, I think it gets back to what you were saying in the extremes. They really don't want back the ghetto homes that are kind of boarded up and busted up because they know they're going to have a real hard time selling them and make no money. And they don't want the $1 million homes for the reasons you talked about. Where you have your highest foreclosures is in that bread and butter, guys. It's in the 200 to 350 range, at least in my market. That's the ones where it is a more difficult market to work in. That's where people are getting mortgages, and you have to deal with those concerns. But whatever.
Yeah, yeah, and Robert, welcome aboard. I see Robert's in here. Daryl, Darlene, welcome aboard, guys. Hey, Brian, you know what? There are like a ton of questions, so keep talking. I'm going to answer these. But that what you just said about the banks not wanting to foreclose on these luxury homes, that creates your leverage when you're negotiating your short sale. And again, you're not the one who's on the phone calling the bank worrying about the short sale. Well, this system is going to show you how much to offer on the property, so you don't need to worry about that. We're going to show you how much you offer on the property. We're going to show you how to get the negotiators, and we'll even do it for you. And you don't have to worry about getting on the phone and calling the bank. We're going to show you how to do that. We know the leverage points of the banks, okay? So, you don't need to worry about that part. But yes, the banks on these luxury homes, we are able to exert a lot of leverage, because of where things are in the marketplace. Excuse me, folks. Pardon my manners. I'm going to have a drink real quick. I mean a regular beverage. Just a dry throat. I'm going to answer a bunch of these questions, Brian.
Yeah.
Go hey, for all you guys that asked the questions and been waiting and waiting and waiting, I had my screen full, so I couldn't see them. So now I'm gonna bang out some questions for you guys. Hey, Brian, you there?
I'm here, yeah. It's better. I don't think we can see what you're looking at, so why don't you just read them off and answer them out loud to kind of like play both roles, because we can't see anything you're looking at over there.
It's asking me if I walk through the entire process with the done-for-you deal. I'm gonna, yes, we do. We do it for you. Yes, we even do it for you. So I'm gonna type that in there. And we do share the profits 50-50. We do share the profit 50-50. And if you do a done-for-you deal with us, let us know, and your $997 will be a scholarship amount. It'll be returned back to you. So now that you make a profit of your first deal, so imagine you're doing your first deal. Okay, let's say you're not making $150. Maybe you're making 100,000. So you're gonna get 50, and then you're gonna get your $997 back. Pretty cool, right?
It is cool, dude. That's pretty impressive. And by the way, I'm not gonna lie to you. I didn't, when you sent over the slides earlier, I didn't finish going through all of them at the end. I lined up. I have 2 closings myself tomorrow, and I just run around crazy. But I was looking. I didn't see the bonuses. So when you announced them live, that was the first time I was seeing that too. And they're pretty awesome bonuses. Actually, make me rethink my bonuses.
Yeah, we have a closing. We have a closing this week too. Okay, so Lillian, Brian addressed what is FFP2, Flip Free Profits 2.0. Sound keeps fading. William, I am sorry about that. I was on my Yeti Blue mic. Hopefully that didn't happen too often. I also tend to get excited when I speak. I tried to talk slow for you folks. Hopefully I did. Maybe someone chime in and let me know. Okay, Mark. Okay, Mark, I see you responding. Welcome aboard. Jump on, Mark. Okay, Lillian. Okay, Lillian, I didn't see what you were talking about. That's kind of funny. So Lillian says stop the hippie BS. Get on with it. I read you, Lillian. All right.
The
Okay.
hippie BS.
Okay, yeah, DC Fawcett. He's done tons of luxury homes. Yes, he has. Their system that I know DC. I just talked to him a couple days ago. Yeah, this system's great. It rocks. If you're in this program, that's one thing. But they're not out there doing it right now. They actually have a whole nother model. They're doing more of internet publishing. Um, you know, I know as coaches, this program really just fills everything, and you have access. I mean, you're going to have the ability to do these deals with us. You can call us anytime. You can email us anytime. We're there. We're in the trenches right now, today, doing these deals all the time. So, you know, yeah, we're doing deals, guys. I mean, we do this. I mean, this is where I'm a practitioner of this. I'm not an info marketing guy. I'm a guy that does this every single day, right up to 20 minutes before we started this webinar. Tomorrow, I mean, guys, we do this. I mean, this is all that I do. So, yeah, so that's a good question. Okay, came on late. Nathan Kenny. Anyone know Nathan Kenny? Nathan K. Who is this guy? Rob Style. Nice to meet you, Nathan. Okay, Terry Moore. She's where are we listening this to hear about your life or how we do this? Okay. All right, Kimbu. What's Kimbu saying? Some funny question here. I'm talking. Okay, someone had to pause their webinar and they missed it, but they didn't tell us what part we're in. And all right, so I'm just going to read the questions out as we go here. Someone's asking if we go to every single property. No, I don't go to every single property. Are you seeing these questions too, Brian?
No, we can't see him, so just get and just
okay. Someone's saying, someone's saying to you, hey, Brian, what up, dude? Okay. Someone's saying, Brian, ask Rob if he'll take on high-end vacant REOs as well. Yeah, so I'll shoot him over an email. And yeah, I mean, guys, this works with REOs. Sure, the problem with the REOs, what you don't really have is the leverage of time. See, the one thing is what makes this system so valuable is while you're negotiating the short sale, you have the time to go out there and find your end buyer. So if you put a contract with the bank to buy an REO, they're going to give you 30 days, okay? And so they're going to say you got 30 days to buy this property, and so you got to find your buyer in 30 days. That's a lot of pressure. Now, if you're doing a short sale, typically say 2 to 5 months and negotiate that deal, you've got ample time to go out and find your end buyer. So,
and Rob, let me add something to that too, and that's huge. The difference in the working exclusively in short sales and not REOs, and this is a big one, you don't need a buyer's list. You ready to blow everybody's mind? I don't have a buyer's list, guys. Yes, I have a handful of people in the Trenton, New Jersey area in the ghetto that like to buy in that area for whatever reason, and they happen to be Hasidic Jews out of Lakewood, and I don't know why, and I really don't care, but I call them when I have a property. But other than about 4 of them, I don't have a buyer's list. Rob, you don't have a buyer's list. You don't need one. Or maybe you do, dude. Maybe I'm speaking out of turn. Do you have a buyer's list?
No, I don't even have a squeeze page.
Okay, so there you go. When you do this properly, when you work short sales properly because of how we do it, and again, you're kind of, looking at 2 different ends of the spectrum here, you don't need a buyer's list because if you negotiate properly, which, by the way, you don't have to do, you put it up on the MLS and the buyers come to you. And that's a beautiful part of the system because I know plenty of guys, and so do you, Rob, that focus on the REOs. And they're constantly building their buyer's list. They're constantly worrying about running ads and squeeze pages and getting buyers. And you know what? That's one less thing I have to worry about. So no, I don't do REOs either. I just never got into it.
But yeah, that's a great point. And getting back to that REO, I mean, another thing too is some REOs right now. There are luxury REOs out there. One thing is that the banks do put an actual deed restriction on the resale on a lot of them. So I mean, every deal is different, of course, and every lender is different. But you've probably seen that a lot too, Brian. But that's the one thing. REOs are awesome too. But the one thing is you just don't have is that time where you can go out and find that end buyer. Someone's asking me. This is a good question by Nathan. He's Nathan Kenny. He's asking me, hey, do you outsource your coaching program? And someone asked me about someone else's program. Guys, our coaching program, it's fulfilled by us. We do the deals. Okay, we fulfill our coaching program. It is fulfilled by people who do these deals. Brian, there are a lot of questions here. So do you have some time to keep rolling here?
Well, I'll put it to you this way. I do, but you don't. You have about 9 minutes, and then after that, you're going to get cut off. So I would just suggest don't respond to anyone by typing anything. It's just going to slow you down. And if they're listening still, and if they asked you a question and they're still listening, they can hear you, so you don't have to type it.
Okay. I got you.
You know, because it's just going to slow you down. This way you can run through some questions that really pertain to you in this system, which is what we're talking about tonight, and you know, answer any questions they have.
I read you. Okay, so Nathan, I just answered your question. Okay, is the content dripped or just delivered? It is delivered, guys. It's there. It's done. Okay. The book is in printing right now at the publisher, so that part, but everything else is ready. So your content site has got it all. So you go in there, you get it all, and then what's going to happen is you're also going to get the physical product. The book is probably right now probably about 12 days out with the printer. So I just talked to the publisher today. They just had a major backup. Yeah, we got some more buyers on board, so I want to welcome Gary, welcome Robert, welcome Eric. We've got a Juan here, so that's awesome. Thank you guys. Welcome all. You guys are going to crush it. So, no, the content is not going to be dripped. This is it. But we will always add to this. So, guys, I'm out here doing this, okay? So if there's something new, if there's something pertinent, I'm going to tell you. We're going to jump on it, and we're going to make sure that you're aware of it and any kind of I'm on top of every new system. I'm also I'm in the country's top real estate mastermind. So I'm in there with a bunch of, these guys, these are the smart guys. These are the players. These guys, they really know things. If I learn a trick, I learn something that's good, I'm going to bring it to you. Just like Brian, he gives you updates all the time. You're going to have that here with this. So,
yeah, Rob and I are in the same mastermind. That's why I was down in Florida. We're hanging out with people, obviously, like Nathan Jurwitz and, I don't know, Peter Conti, Jerry Norton, DC Fawcett. You name it, they were there. And, that's the thing, man. It's like, that's why when I was talking to some other people who you talked to about your product, that's what blew my mind, too, that everybody you talk to, you're like, dude, that guy's onto something. Like, he's really got it going on, and it's just amazing, man. It's
all right, Brian, I got to interrupt you. I got to give I mentioned it before, Chris. I guess you didn't see this, but Chris wants some props for. So yeah, Chris is our #1 order. All right, Chris, way to go, rock on. You're gonna crush it. We're gonna be here right here along with you. Gary, yes, and yes, we're there. No worries. Okay, we got another one. Okay, Brian, someone's asking about why they want. Ron is asking, who does he email to get your system for $1?
Okay, well, again, I guess I guess that was kind of off the cuff.
Well, I think the best way is, and actually, I didn't even tell you this, Brian, but you are actually in. I think I did tell you. You are in my $1 million Rolodex resource page. So,
okay.
So Ron, what we'll do is, when you're in Premier Elite Profit System, there'll be a link for Brian. I guess Brian and I can work that out about how to get in there for $1.
That'll work. Or yeah. Or like I said, whenever you buy this system, you're going to get an email, and if you could just reply to that email and just let them know about the offer that Brian mentioned to you, Rob will send it over to my team and I, and we'll definitely take care of that for you. So when we're ready to launch, we'll let you know first, and we'll do something on the tech side, which I don't know how to do, where we'll just make it $1 for you guys, because it was only supposed to be $1 for the existing members as a thank you for joining us early. But I came up with something for them, because I obviously can't say I'll give it to you for $1. They're already getting it for $1. So I came up with something for them that they're going to be extremely happy about. But yeah, so just reply to the receipt confirmation email you get, and it'll make its way over to us. We'll take care of it.
Yeah, all right. So, Ron, perfect. Jump on board. Welcome. We're glad to have you. And yeah, we'll get you that $1 system. That's awesome. Hey, Brian, your folks are hilarious, man. They're just, man, these guys are really cracking me up. And they're lining up like there's a ton of questions. I'm really glad you asked me about that. Okay, Tasha. Well, the typical turnaround time on most deals, really, Tasha, I would probably tell you right now. There are deals that are happening fast. So there are some fast ones that are happening in 2 months. That's really going to be more to the lucky side than the consistent side. They're typically really going to run about 3 to 6 months, and but they're getting easier, they're getting faster, and that's it. So, and especially we're going to show you how to work with which banks to kind of make the decisions a little bit quicker, a little bit easier, and I can even show you how to target deals that have mortgages with those particular banks. So that definitely takes off from the learning curve. I mentioned before about how I used to have massive pipelines. What I've done now is I actually keep my pipeline purposely smaller but very targeted, and I just target the banks that I know we can make the fast deals with, and that alone has taken a lot of stress on it. It's actually even increased our profitability. And guys, imagine when people are saying to you, they're offering you their multi-million dollar house, and you're saying no. That's creating a lot more scarcity about you, and more people are even more people want to get on board about what you're doing. Tony asking me if this is the real deal. Yes, Tony, this is the real deal. We do this every day. We're in this. This is all we do. Okay. Man, it's going on and on here, Brian. All right, someone's asking again if we go to all the houses. I only go to, I don't go to all of them. I go to a few of them. You don't have to go to the houses. I mean, that's
Well, Rob, you answer. Here's the funny thing. Did I not ask you that same thing when we sat down?
Yeah, you did. You did.
And here's why, guys. I modeled myself after Nathan Jerwitz and his system, and my pride is to run around saying I never see the houses, I never meet the sellers, I never talk to the banks. Well, that's true. Here's the difference. If you're working in the luxury market, even though you don't have to, it might be kind of cool to go see those homes, And like Rob said before, it might be kind of like badass to just like go in some of these nice homes and like chill out and, if you want to really get crazy and stupid, pull up in a limo or whatever, man. Have someone come and open the door for you. But I think that as I go into these markets, I wouldn't mind, going around some of these homes, taking my kids, be like, like these retarded homes, dude. I know I got like some $40 million, $40 million homes close to me, and imagine doing one of them. I'm excited.
Yeah, for sure. And you know what? And I would tell you guys, when you're starting out, go out to a bunch of homes. Why not? Get used to giving your spiel. Get used to making a presentation to the sellers. When your realtors listen to you, and again, guys, Brian knows me. I'm not a very assuming person. Okay, I'm actually, I'm not really the most social, gregarious person. But when I walk into someone's house, and I have that persona that this is a billionaire, this is Donald Trump walking into this house, and I don't care who that seller is, whether he's a celebrity, whether he's a multimillionaire, I don't care who he is. I talk to him, and I know this business, and I, even when I first started, I talked to him like I was the only guy in the country that knows about this. Listen to me, and when you go in there with that kind of authority, your realtors are going to pick up on that, and your realtors are going to learn how to talk to the sellers, and they're not going to need you to go anymore. But when you do go, they're going to be excited because they know when you go, you're bringing in the deal. All the time that happens. So, and sometimes it's fun. Like I might tell my realtor, hey, line up a few appointments. Let's go. Let's just knock down a bunch of houses and, go have a nice lunch in between. Once you've done, and guys, the limo and all that stuff, you don't do that. You don't do that now. Make some money first and then go have that kind of fun. And that just makes your day a lot more enjoyable, So, yeah, so that's, part of it. But at first, you should probably start going out to some just to kind of get into it and getting into the mode of going out there and just, learning about it and, being the guy there. But for now,
but Rob, just to confirm, and because it's been asked a few times, if you don't want to, if you don't have the time to, if you're working in a market outside of your own,
for sure, yeah, of course not.
You don't have to, right?
No way. I showed you that big Vero Beach, big mansion I did on the beach. I never saw that house. I never went to it.
Okay.
So you absolutely don't have to. Okay, Bill's asking about the restrictions. Do they apply to jumbo loans that are shorted? Depends upon the lender, and again, the restrictions are a non-starter now because Brian has been the pioneer to create the way out of that restriction. And by the way, his partner's the country's top short sale lawyer, who's also seen all of the forms in my document library. So as far as the jumbo loans and the restrictions, no, you're not going to have them, and typically you don't. Some lenders might, but even if you do, again, flip-free profits, Brian's system is going to get you away from that, so you don't have to hold it for the 30 days, and so I don't know if you want to talk on that, Brian. But again, the question was.
No, I mean, you hit it perfectly, and that's what you started off with before. I mean, if you don't, if there is a way to, we're talking about flipping houses, guys. And so if you're not able to flip the house for whatever reason, and I know they're supposed to standardize it, we talked about that, down to 30 days and the whole thing. But the point is this: if it's going to be a 60-90, a straggler, a non-Fannie Freddie, etc., you have options. You have the ability to use what Jeff and I have created to back yourself out of the deal. And again, the difference is instead of making the 8 to 10,000 that we proudly talk about, it's 8 to 10 grand a deal is not chump change. But if you can make, 50, or I think Rob, you said 150 on a deal using my and Jeff's method with Flip Free. That's pretty awesome too. So you have options. You know what I'm saying? Um, Actually, dude, you know what? The more I'm thinking about it, you should have used my product as like an add-on to yours, because then people kind of need it. And if people aren't on this webinar, other than a couple 300 people listening tonight, they're never going to know about that. But anyway, we should talk about that another time to kind of like piggyback off each other, because I'm excited, man. I'm excited to have met you and really learned what you do. To know there's someone else like me out there actually doing something and not just running around with a big mouth trying to sell people shit. It's exciting.
Yeah, hey Brian, you know what? And I just mentioned, someone's asking that question again. How do they get your system? It's going to be made available to them through our members area, so they'll be able to get it. And folks, I'm going to tell you something, guys. We can even do another training if you want to do this, Brian, just for Premier Elite Profit, folks. If you want to do a training just on your program, because I would surmise this: you might not even want to do an A to B, B to C transaction. You can save yourself the transactional fees. Which, guys, I've done deals where they've been over $100,000. You could save that by just going right to Brian's system. And you know what? An end buyer will pay you 6 figures to walk away. Okay?
And Rob, here's
you have the best deal on the block and you've got that luxury home that a multimillionaire wants, he will pay you for it. And as long as you're giving him value, you're still going to give him a good deal, knock down your price a little bit, and you say, hey, Mr. Buyer, you're going to save a little bit on some closing costs. You're going to save a little bit here, and I'm going to save a little bit on funding fees, and they're going to do that. So, and this would even take a step out of going this whole transaction.
Exactly, and I'd be happy to do that, man. I think that's actually probably a good idea. Once Jeff and I finish this up and get this out the door in March, I don't know, maybe even we could plan on something like the end of March where you and I maybe have Jeff on the call too, where we'll do a webinar for everyone, for all the people who bought your system, and talk about the integration of your system with our system and how they work hand in hand, and they complement and don't compete with each other. And I think that's an awesome idea, and I know Jeff is going to be pretty happy to do that. I think that's great. It's kind of like you could even announce that as like a little unannounced bonus.
For sure. I mean, you can really use it just as your whole model. Instead of doing that A to B, B to C, just use your release and that's it. I mean, that's a nice deal. That's a great way to do it. And the benefit is you take out a moving piece in your own deal of
Right.
the funding, dealing with the title company. It's a lot smoother to actually do that with Brian's product, and that's why I have it, guys. I mean, the first webinar Brian ever did, I bought his product. I mean, I was one of his first customers. As a matter of fact,
that's the thing, Rob. I think people need to understand too is that you're teaching specifically from A to Z, step by step, what they need to do to go after this luxury market. I don't teach that. I'm not going to lie to anyone. We don't really go into that. I don't teach you how to go after these homes. Frankly, I'm not really sure I even know how to. I happen to know a couple people I talked about earlier, but other than that, I mean, the systems you have in place and the trainings it's awesome, man. I mean, and that's why they need what you have. I don't offer that. I can't. I mean, I've never done it,
Yeah. Okay, we got a Joanne on board. Thanks for coming on board. We got a Kevin. Welcome. We have another Gary. I think we have like 2 Garys here. Okay, that's good. So welcome aboard, guys. Keep them coming.
Well, here's my experience, dude. I think we should probably end this because webinars that I've done with Jeff, etc., either the recording cuts off at 2 hours, or if you do go over, it screws things up with the recording. And I know that there's a lot of people, that couldn't make this tonight, and I'm going to be sending that email out tomorrow to let them know that they can, watch this. And I would hate to have this all, because I know we covered a lot of good information, and I would hate that it just disappeared. So we should probably end this.
Okay, let me ask you this question. There's like a ton of questions. Are you seeing me type in the answers when I write?
No, we can't see what you're typing, of course, so
oh, you can?
No. Mm-mm.
Well, hey, maybe one of the folks who are getting the answers, type me back to see if you're getting the answers. Because man, there's like so many questions, Brian. I mean, they're literally pouring in.
Well, look, here's what I'll do. I'll stop the recording on my end. I'll end the call. I'll leave the call, and if you want to sit there, just leave the screen up so that people, know where to go. The site right there. And if you want to stay on and just reply and answer the questions, I mean, that's up to you. As long as we stop the recording, we should be fine. And then, as long as people don't disconnect from the webinar, you can answer their questions.
Yeah, I'll agree to do that. But Brian, can you do me? And by the way, welcome Kevin, welcome Randolph. Brian, can you do me a favor though? If you do that, can you jump back on, or can just somebody, whether it's Gary, I see 2 Garys out here. if you guys can, I see Nathan. If you guys can just pop back in and tell me. Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, Nathan, thank you. Nathan says yes, we can see the answers. Okay.
Oh, cool.
Man, you guys are fun. Man, you guys are a trip, man. It's a good time with you guys. And Brian, I think some of your guys are some jokesters. They're making some funny comments.
Hey man, anybody who follows me at all, they have to be a little bit like me, a little bit of a jokester, you know.
Yeah,
Or
that
else
was
they would
funny.
probably unsubscribe from my list by now anyway, you know.
You know what? God, look at. And I think there's another Gary. Hey, okay, so you know what? It was funny that someone talked about the hippie. They said enough of the hippie stuff. Let's move on.
I don't even know what that means. You don't look like a hippie. What is that supposed to mean? I don't even know
Probably
what that.
about saving the country, Bart. But it's
Yeah, you know,
true.
people get funny. The people get funny about that, dude. But you know, like about if you start getting like into like personal goals, and I know you shared something personal, and I shared something personal about me that I really, frankly, hadn't really decided. I don't know where the heck that came
Oh
from,
my
but
God, dude, these questions. Okay, so all right,
you
so
know.
Ron, I got his question at minimum price.
All right, dude, I'm gonna go. I have some things to do, and I'm tired. So let's do this. I'm gonna end the recording. I'll format it. I'll do what I got to do over here and send it off so they can fix it, and then you go ahead and answer away as long as you want.
Okay, I'm gonna stay on, guys. I'm just gonna rock and roll with you guys, and I'm gonna shout out the answers and type them as well. Ron, you're out. You're saying you're not the sharpest knife in the drawer. Never bought property, done a deal. Can you be successful with the program? Hey, when I did this, I never did a short sale. I was done on my last $3,000. No bank would have ever lent me money to buy a multi-million-dollar house, and I did it, and I made $1.66 on my first deal. So yes, you can do it too. If and folks, I mean, you gotta get the system, embrace it, and learn it. Okay, and then go out and do it. And we're there for you. We're gonna, we're gonna help you. I want you. I don't want you just to. I want you to succeed with this, run wild with it, and I want you to be my story about this too. And I want this out there in the country. And yes, so anybody can do this. It's just that simple.
Yo,
And
hippie,
yes,
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna run. I'm gonna cut this off. But you guys stay on, and just by me leaving, I'm a panelist. I'm not the organizer, so you'll be fine. But listen, in all sincerity, man, you really did a bang up job tonight, and I know you were a little bit nervous about it. And I don't even know how many people are still listening to this. I really don't care. You did a great job because you know what? You just, yeah, you stumbled on a few things, but it came out awesome, dude. And you know what? As long as you're real with people and you're just talking from the heart, whether they like to hear it or not, they're going to know one thing. They're going to know you're not full of shit. You're not trying to rob them, lie to them, steal from them. And people can sense that, you know what I'm saying? And you did a great job. And honestly, I really mean that. You did awesome, you know?
yeah.
You
Oh,
there?
thank you, Brian. I appreciate that so much. And yeah, I was nervous. And it's just funny because someone just timed in, and thank you, D. I'll just say D there. Thank you. She just they chimed in and they said doing good for a first webinar. So that was cool. It's nice. Okay.
Yeah.
And the question was, what were you talking about where you said you made 150 using Brian's paperwork? We need both products. Well, that's it. Brian's going to make that available to you for $1. So that is pretty phenomenal. Listen, Brian, I mean, he probably jumped off, and he's probably a little more humble about it. What they started, Flip 3 Profits, is you know that was a pioneer in the industry. That filled a need that all of us short sale investors needed. A lot of people stopped doing short sale investing because they couldn't get the money for 31 days. What happened was banks were putting restrictions on when you could resell a property. Brian's program takes that away. Now you don't have to hold it for 30 days. You can use his